Welcome, one and all. We are on episode number 64 of your favorite podcast, the H-Cast. Hope you're all having a fantastic day, ladies and gents, wherever you are. Whether that's
episode 69, right around the corner.
Oh, yes. Whether that's morning, afternoon, evening, nighttime, wherever you are, ladies and gents, hope you're having a fantastic time, fantastic day, whatever it is. So we've got a pretty action-packed show for you all today. We're obviously going to be talking about Ahsoka like we do on Thursdays here. Episode 5 review. Going to get all of our thoughts because everyone currently here has actually seen it. We're going to talk about the Aquaman 2 trailer. I've watched it. Some other people have watched it. They may have to do some sort of live reactions here and there, but we're going to talk about that. We've got a whole host of bits and bobs to sort of cover today. But yeah, I'm sure you all know it is a bit of a slow news day. So we're just going to be kind of chit-chatting our way through this. But thank you so much for joining us here on this Thursday. Again, I won't say it's Thursday evening for me, but this Thursday, wherever you are, joining us on your favorite podcast.
There it is.
What?
I was waiting for that.
All right.
Podcast.
I introed it with that.
All right, fair enough.
So honestly, thank you so much, guys. Do appreciate all the continued love and support here on the show. We've got a great panel for you today. We got Nick back because he was a little bit sick. So Nick's here. Good to have you back, especially to talk about Ahsoka.
Good to be back.
We've got Culture Casino and we got Andre. So please do check out everyone's channel linked down below in the description box if you enjoy any of their input. I'm sure you're already subscribed, in fairness, guys, but for what it's worth, if you're not and you enjoy their input, check them out. So a few things just to say from the off. Hey, this show is funded by you guys for you guys. We regularly get demonetized here, so please do chuck in a buck. Like you can see, Istari Azul has already done, and we've also had another super chat already as well. Because you can ask us anything, literally, on the topic that we're covering. You can ask us things, anything you want to talk about. We will talk and engage with you via the super chat function. So please do that. It helps a lot. It goes a long, long way. Outside of that, everyone's channel's linked down below, but also the second channel, which is where this stream will be put up after the fact because it doesn't go out on the main channel. So hit subscribe there as well. I think that's it. Is that all of it? I think. Is that right? Is that all of it? Memberships. We've got a new member. Yeah, memberships. Become members as well. There you go. There you go. That's they're done. Intro's done. Great. How are you all?
Lovely. Fantastic. I'm not Nick, so I'm not sick. So I'm good.
Well, that's good. I'm glad to hear it. And how are you doing, Nick? Run it by us. What was going on with you?
So it turned out I just had a really bad sinus infection that got down into my chest and stuff, and had to get on some antibiotics and stuff. But I'm still a little nasally, so if I sound a little funny, it's just because I'm just not 100%. But I feel a lot better. I actually got out of the house for the first time today in the last 4 days. Yesterday, a package showed up at my house while I was sick. I found Andre and Nate probably won't know what I'm talking about here, but Culture and people in chat probably will. Back in the day in school, we had you remember the little rectangle pizzas, Culture?
Yeah, school pizzas. Yeah.
School pizzas. Yeah. I found a site that sells them, and I ordered some.
You ordered pizzas online?
Yeah. These little rectangle school pizzas that we used to get, back in elementary and middle school. It's just nostalgia reason. I mean, it's not like it's like the best pizza ever or anything like that.
No, I would imagine that this is any prefabricated pizza that's cut into rectangular shapes.
Correct. Yeah. Pretty much just frozen pizza. I mean, I would much rather, get something from like Giordani's out of Chicago or something like that. It's not like high scale pizza, but it's just nostalgia. So I actually ordered some and made some last night, which was pretty cool. But other than that, we're getting hammered once again on our Ahsoka review, losing subs left and right.
Oh, dear.
So definitely looking forward to getting into that today.
Yeah, well, I think I likewise. I think most people that have reviewed this, I think it's funny, isn't it? The analogy of what your pizza experience. Perfect segue and perfect analogy, which can be likened to Ahsoka episode 6, actually, I think. Episode 5, sorry. Actually. It's member berries and people like it, and that seems to be why episode 5 is being reviewed so well, basically, because a lot of people have been sort of succumbing down to all of the sort of member berries of it all.
Yeah, 100%. I could not agree more.
So it's not the best, but it's nostalgia. That's what you said. It's not the best, but it's nostalgia.
Yeah.
So why are you not hit with the nostalgia for Ahsoka?
Well, I was not a prequel fan, so I wasn't struck by the nostalgia bug on this episode. I thought the prequels were not very good Star Wars films. Now I appreciate them much more today than I did back when they came out. I still think Revenge of the Sith is by far the best one out of all three. But there was so much stuff in that just did not add up to the original trilogy movies that I still have issues with today. So yeah, for me on this episode, it just didn't hit like it probably did for a lot of the prequel fans that grew up on those movies.
I don't think right. Well, Coach will be annoyed if we don't roll this, by the way. Because Culture worked hard on these, and I did just forget, and I'm so sorry. I'm getting there with it.
It's fine. I thought we were just going to hear Nick's perspective before we get a proper breakdown of it.
Oh dear, oh dear. Yeah, well, we also got Tom in the backstage. I don't know if we'll bring Tom on anyway, just because good to have you here. I know you probably didn't watch Ahsoka, but we'll have you here for when we shuffle on. How's that?
I'm not into self-mutilation.
Oh boy.
Dear, oh dear. Yeah, it's all good, man. I just didn't want you to be sat in the back wondering. So I think that's the perfect analogy, though, isn't it, Nick? Nostalgia. Yeah. It's not the best, but it's nostalgia, and people are seemingly lapping it up. Now, look, I don't think it's necessarily fans of the prequels that lap it up. I think it maybe it is. I don't know. I don't assume to speak for people, but a lot of people are sort of wowed with the subtext in this episode, because they're like, well, she was broken and she was always fighting, and now she's learned to sort of mellow out, and now she's literally it's the Gandalf the White bloody scenario. She dies essentially, and she comes back, and now she's wearing all white, and it's like, really, can you just stop borrowing everything from everything else?
Better stuff.
I just thought as well, like, nothing happened, and loads of people are like, yeah, it did. No, it didn't. If you're talking about pursuing the story itself, this was the longest episode yet, and the story actually only moved forward in the last 5 minutes, where they stared at some whales and then got in their mouth.
Yep. Yeah.
Well, and again, I mean, what is the audience left thinking about the engagement between Anakin and Ahsoka, aside from, holy cow, practice longer before you put a choreographed fight scene on screen, because oh my god, it was so slow. I mean, I'm like, every single thing was so unpolished and I'm like, how do you make a lightsaber fight uninteresting and boring?
Well, like the sounds, they did okay on the sounds. I think that's something. I know it's a weird thing to say, because earlier in these episodes, the lightsaber sounds didn't sound correct, but they have changed the sounds for this one. Or maybe I'm wrong. Did you get that, Nick, or am I wrong with that?
I mean, it's
better.
Yeah, it sounded fine to me from that aspect of it. I didn't have an issue.
The sounds were
but before, the sound, especially when Sabine and the little poodle dog lady were fighting each other, that the sounds from them was just I was like, it sounds off, but it didn't sound off when it was Anakin and Ahsoka fighting here.
You guys are reaching to find things to compliment.
No, not at all. I'm saying, like, that's the only thing which was like
maybe it sounded better because they were so slow. You could hear each of the sound individually.
Or maybe because they hung a lantern on it in the episode by going, "Don't you hear the lightsabers, Mom? I can hear it from beyond the Force," or some nonsense like that. It was very strange.
Yeah, so I guess she can use the Force and hear stuff, because if this was happening in a physical sense, then he wouldn't need the Force to sit there and hear it, which then means, why didn't Pootie Tang droid hear it when he was sitting there?
Oh no, like it was happening in a Force realm. Were they actually in the world between worlds at that point? I guess.
Yeah, they didn't say if they were in the world between worlds. It sort of looked like the world between worlds, but they never said that's what it was, and we never saw any portals or any owls flying around or any of that. But basically we just got freaking Ebenezer Scrooge Ahsoka and freaking Hayden Christensen, the ghost of Christmas past.
It is, it is literally.
I have a question about that. Could it have been a dream sequence?
No, because otherwise, how would they have heard it? How would they have heard it?
Isn't this quite the third time that Ahsoka's died? Because to my knowledge, most species can't hold their breath for 6 to 10 hours at a time.
But so she can't have. So to answer Andre's question, right? It can't have been a dream sequence, because otherwise, how would Jason and Syndulla hear the lightsabers?
That is a good question.
Yeah, it doesn't. And the thing is, like,
Anakin is the Force.
Yeah, I've gotten so many explanations from people in the comment section of our review video for this. Nobody else seems to know either, because I've gotten like 5 or 6 different theories of what actually happened, and it's all over the place because they never actually explain it or tell you anything in the episode. They don't let you know what's happening or what's going on. Are they in the world between worlds? Is this a dream sequence? Was she dead? I guess you could make an argument for it, because Anakin's like, you lost a fight, and then she's like, I don't remember. Oh, trust me, you lost. Was that really Anakin? Or was that a figment of her imagination? Who knows? They give no explanation, and by the time it's all over and done with, you're just left there with some nostalgia bait, and not really anything changes. Oh, she's not depressed now? I didn't know she was depressed in the first place. There was never any conversation about her being depressed or anything like that. And then
they didn't even go with her like questioning her training, considering her leader was, one of the biggest murderers in history.
I guess no, not really. They did and they didn't. So they had to go, was this all I'm being trained for? But it wasn't. It was like a half-fledged thought. Basically, it was a very ill-conceived notion. Like, it was like, oh yeah, this is I'm sort of questioning it, but I'm sort of not, and I'm now like not fighting you, so I win. Ha 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 ha. Like,
because that kind of would explain partially why she's been in exile for a while. She's been ashamed, all that kind of shit. Doesn't trust her instincts or.
Well, she shouldn't. She's training Sabine. It's got no force power at all.
Well, not just that. She was trained by Anakin fucking Skywalker, right? Like, that'd be like being, Charlie Chan or Charlie Chaplin or whatever you want to call him. That guy with the mustache. That'd be like his assistant.
Though, to be fair, though, at the time. This would have been like between episodes 2 and 3, right? So it's not like he would have been a Jedi Master himself. He was still a Padawan at the time, wasn't he? Or am I completely wrong here or something? I need to hear from someone who knows.
Ahsoka is set in the future.
Yeah, I know that, but basically when they met, right?
Yeah,
when he formally was her Padawan, from my understanding,
yeah,
Filoni's fan fiction was set between episodes 2 and 3. So surely Anakin would still have been a Padawan himself at the time when he was training Ahsoka. What kind of training could he give when he wasn't fully trained himself?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
It's a good point.
Yeah, I hadn't thought about it like that.
I didn't watch all the Clone Wars, so I don't know when.
I thought you did.
No, I watched all Rebels, but I did not see all Clone Wars. Coach has seen all of Clone Wars. He's watched it all the way through twice, so he knows it better than I do. I've seen, the good episodes of season 7, and I've seen all of season 1.
See, but that's what everybody keeps saying
2.
is like, you clearly aren't a fan because you didn't watch these shows, so you won't understand. That's what I see everybody saying to anybody who doesn't like it.
Who the fuck cares? That's the point, isn't it? Right?
Well, Filoni said you didn't have to watch them anyways.
Well, exactly.
Well, he'll lie, obviously.
Yeah.
Or more likely, he is so attached to it. He knows this stuff so well because it's his fan fiction. So he's not capable of writing or telling the story from the mindset of someone who really genuinely hasn't seen any of this ugly looking animated stuff, any of it at all.
Yeah,
and I think this is where he failed. That he just, everyone must have seen this, or even if he thinks, okay, fine, I'll write it so it's accessible to everyone. He's not capable of doing it because he is the creator of this fan fiction, which is what I consider it to be.
He couldn't even keep his fiction on the Darksaber right.
That's what I mean. Like, if he had someone like a Jon Favreau there who could be like, okay, fine, like, tell me what we need to know, and I'll find some way to communicate this that actually is accessible.
That's supposedly what happened in Mandalorian, Andre, and they still got it wrong.
Yeah, and then they definitely got it wrong here. And all I will say that there was nothing. There weren't, like, I didn't certainly in the first 2 seasons I didn't really feel that much left out of the Mandalorian. Yeah, there were like some.
No, but there's nothing there that's really attached to anything previously either.
That's what I mean.
Of that.
That's what I mean. So it kind of worked. Whereas this thing right here, I've seen every episode and I feel lost. I feel like I don't know who these people are.
I got friends that feel the same way.
Yeah.
I feel like this is season 5 of something, and I haven't seen the first 4 seasons.
Oh, you're not wrong, to be fair.
I was going to say, so it kind of sounds like it is. And that's the thing is, you had Favreau along the ride for Mandalorian to where he was controlling the ship. I mean, the whole first episode is kind of just building up this Mandalorian as a mythological character here. And then at the end, it's like, oh, there's this baby. And then, you get to the next part of the story. Like, I can even tell you the first few episodes and the last few episodes of the second season and such like that, because they do actually they feel like a story, right? We're building characters. We're building a world here. Even though we already know the world, we're still building his world and how it works. And throughout those first 2 seasons, it actually feels like a show. When you get to that Boba Fett shit in the third season and now this shit, this is all Filoni. Right, like at this point, there is no Jon Favreau in here, as far as I know, at all.
No,
nope.
No,
and it sounds like it's nothing but a live-action cartoon.
Pretty much.
Yeah, which will please. I'm sure will please. Well, clearly pleases a lot of people.
Yeah,
but there's still a lot of plot holes. Like loads of there's someone in the chat now going, "It was peak Star Wars." How?
No, fucking Star Wars was peak fucking Star Wars. I'm sorry. I'm so sick of this shit.
Yeah, the original trilogy
this is
was
the best
peak
thing
Star
we've ever
Wars.
got on a Star. No, there's 3 fucking movies. The rest is fucking practically fan fiction outside of the prequels.
Yeah,
let's be real.
No, you're not wrong. But I mean, just to break it down on a level which can't be disputed anyway, because people will just dispute that regardless. Who the hell made this stupid key map? If no one knows where they are, who made it? And we've seen the internals of it. It was clearly fabricated from some pretty intense, interlocking mechanism. It looked like it belonged in Indiana Jones, quite frankly. Now we've seen the inside.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a massive glaring plot hole in and unto itself.
I have another
why was
problem.
Why was it set in a massive tomb? Like, who made this stuff?
When did they put it there? And to what purpose?
Yeah.
And how did they ensure that Thrawn wouldn't move an inch from where the map was said he was supposed to be? Like, is he locked up in a dungeon or something? You have the exact same thing with the others. You've had maps to find as if there's some kind of like buried secret treasure.
Yeah.
I mean, these are
Just everywhere.
individuals, and they're quite resourceful individuals. They can literally traverse the entire freaking galaxy, and now they can hitch a ride in a whale and go beyond it. So who is to say that they are required by law to stay at this exact location where the map says they are, on the chance that someone is going to go on an Indiana Jones quest to find the map?
Well, that is also true. Is now that they're going to come through the other side into the other galaxy, and presumably Thrawn's just been sat there the entire time, just twiddling his thumbs.
So now we're going to get into multiverse stuff, or what?
No, I don't know.
No.
Not multiverse.
No. Just beyond the galaxy, just the galaxy next to it, kind of like
We're already in a galaxy far away. How much farther do you need to be?
Well, that's the whole story. That is the story, Tom. That's what you've been missing.
I know.
Okay,
I'm just
Tom,
fucking with you guys
now.
now.
You have the galaxy far away, right? Long time ago. Well, now they're going to the galaxy next to it.
We already got this story. It was called The Force Awakens. Just check the R2 unit in the corner under a blanket. He's got the rest.
It's memory or something.
Well, no, because Ahsoka can just dream sequence up Force memories now. This is a new power that she's got. For goodness sake.
Yeah. Apparently there were some other EU characters, or maybe a character in Clone Wars that had this. But the thing is, nobody who watches the movies has ever seen this Force ability. And seeing it in live action, it's just weird. It doesn't feel like Star Wars Force.
Can you
power.
imagine, like, you could, if you were a pervert, you could do some really gross stuff with that power, couldn't you? You could like creep into someone's bedroom and be like, "Hey, I know who you were. You jumped some bones last night." Like, fuck it up, honestly.
Yeah, she just touches object, knows everything. But Thrawn, this is an ancient map in an ancient tomb thousands of years ago that was there, and Thrawn was just literally like jettisoned out into space from these whales just like 30 years previous from this point or so, 20 or 30, somewhere around there. And so it's just how would anybody know that he was where he was going? Because the only people that know where he is are in that other galaxy. Who was able to come back to this galaxy and be like, I know where he's at. This is the location. Here's the secret map. Why would you need a secret map anyway?
And they have to be
tell
somebody
somebody.
Freaking resourceful to like build the entire Indiana Jones tombs and temple around his location
on a desolate planet.
Yeah,
that's what they've done. Like,
I mean,
the thing is, like, no, you raise that as a plot hole. Everyone just goes, "Don't worry about it." It's like, but that's a massive plot hole, and everyone just goes, "No, it's fine. Don't worry about it." Like, you just talk about other stuff. Like, no. Like, if that's how bad the writing is on this, why are you overlooking it? Like, it's not good writing. And this whole jumping in whales nonsense.
The funniest part of the whole episode, guys. The funniest part that was so I literally laughed when this happened. She's sitting there. Ahsoka's using the Force to communicate with the space whale. And is like, he opens his mouth and she's like, "Fly inside," yelling through glass, that's designed to go through space. I don't know how he could have heard her, but whatever, we'll ignore that. So then she gets back inside and they're in there, and she's like, or the Pootie Tang droid is like, so they're gonna take us where Thrawn is. I don't know. Huh? What do you mean you don't know? Like, we're getting in this thing's mouth, about to go off into no man's land. You don't even know if we're going in the right place. Why are we doing this? And then 2 minutes later, she promises Hera that she's gonna find Ezra and stuff. How can you promise her that when you just got done telling Pootie Tang droid that you don't even know if that where they're taking you is even where they're at, or if they're even taking you to the right place?
I'm so confused.
Mythologically speaking, I mentioned this the other day, but Hera is actually the goddess of cleansing by fire.
Yeah.
Party.
burn it all.
Yeah.
Oh dear. So should we give this an episode review out of 10? Everyone that's seen it.
I gave it a 6. Out of
Wow.
10, a 6. I like
Why?
I like the visuals. I like the music. I can
Okay.
appreciate the scenes, even though they felt empty and soulless. You know, it was cool to see clones and stuff. But Ahsoka at this point knows that basically becomes the Empire, and she's sitting there like all sad, you know, about the clone troopers dying. They end up becoming stormtroopers and turning on all the Jedi. So why would you even care anymore, anyways? If they died, you know, at this point you should have been like, God, I hope they all die. Why am I fighting the separatists? You know, we should be taking out the clones.
Yeah.
So
I always thought that was a problem with like Commander Cody and all those guys and didn't they create like this offshoot like group of clones that refuse to turn to the dark side or some stupid shit
the
like
Bad
that?
Batch.
Yeah, fuck that noise. That is not how the fucking Force works. I'm sorry. They're goddamn clones. They're programmed when they get here. Order 66, that means kill every fucking Jedi. And if they're so good, then why didn't they warn the fucking Jedi to begin with?
Yeah. Who knows? But yeah, I mean, there were aspects of the episode that I liked, but overall, I just thought it was empty and soulless. And the big thing that everybody's like creaming themselves over with the Anakin, it was pointless. What was the point of it?
Well, what it was to get everyone speculating that they're going to bin off the sequel trilogy. They're going to retcon it all.
Ain't gonna happen.
Trust me, bro.
This is supposed to be the big time it happened.
Real.
You know how I know it ain't gonna happen? I'm almost 100% positive now it ain't gonna happen.
Of course it's not gonna happen.
No, I mean I was 99.9% sure before.
I was always 100%.
But Pablo Hidalgo posted yesterday about it, and then he had to delete his tweet.
Twitter. Yeah.
So you know damn well he's fucking with people. They ain't doing shit.
He's like, oh, here's where we retcon the sequels, guys. Like, LOL.
You know what, though? That shows that people like Doomcock and shit are getting into his fucking head.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yes and no, because he's mocking. He's
mocking them, but the fact that he took the time to fucking mock them and then was told to delete the tweet.
Yeah. I
mean, yeah.
So out of 10, I mean, you gave it a 6. What would I give it? Probably a 5. Culture, you shaking your head. What would you give it?
3.
Wow.
Let me tell you, they saved a lot of money on slow motion effects by just having them slow down when they were using their lightsabers.
There was a lot of slow moments in this episode again too. A lot of like looking and slow panning. Like
most of the episode, and this is my experience now with all of the latest Disney Star Wars stuff, is somebody do something. Somebody fucking do something. Stop standing there.
Well, I was wondering how long it would take Ahsoka to fold her arms in this episode, and it didn't take long, did it?
It was in the first 3 minutes. I think
straight away. Some of my people are coming at me for my criticism of that, but I'm like, they're like, well, you didn't watch this and that because she crosses her arms and that too. I'm like, great.
Okay, it doesn't translate well. It looks stupid.
Yeah, this is live action, right? And have all the ladies crossing their arms. One of the reasons that they do that in animation is to save from drawing shit.
Yeah.
They don't have to animate the arms and the fingers. They just redo this. There's very little they have to do. That's why it's cheap animation. That's even cheap it takes less motions in computer animation. You're not moving around a rigged character and trying to make them have fluid action. So it's fucking lazy is what it is.
Whoa. Culture cursed.
I know. I'm upset. This thing is dumb.
So you gave it a 3. Andre, what are you giving this out of 10?
I'll give it 4 out of 10. And the previous one with Ray Stevenson, which was the highlight of the series, that was a 5 out of 10. Where Ray Stevenson is amazing, but just because something is amazing doesn't mean that something else doesn't suck.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, true.
when he is the highlight of the series, he cannot save it.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
in these episodes, yeah, I did like seeing Hayden Christensen again. I did like the flashbacks, but at the same time, I was like, this is what they should have done the whole time. I mean, if
Yeah.
they had been skilled people, they could have used those flashbacks to get us all up to speed. We could have seen a flashback to when to exactly how Ahsoka became Anakin's Padawan to begin with. We could have seen them falling out. We could have seen all of this stuff in flashbacks. All of the stuff that we needed to know should have been told to us in some very strategic flashbacks. And then those would have been the canon events, whereas Filoni's fan fiction would have been the animated interpretation of the canon events, the way that it should be.
Can't argue with any of it.
Still stuck with how we all have to do the homework of these ugly ass animated series. So to me, it was like, just why couldn't you have done this the whole time? Why couldn't you have used flashbacks like these from the very first episode to get us back to speed, up to speed? There's no shame in it. Plenty movies do that, where you rely on the flashback to tell the story kind of as you go gradually, right? This series could have done exactly the same thing. By the end of the series, we should have been caught up with everything of importance that the people that follow the animated series knows, certainly everything that we do, so that we would be able to enjoy this thing here without having seen anything other than the live action stuff. I'm happy with all the movies being homework. I'm happy with The Mandalorian being homework. I'm even happy with Boba Fett, and if need be, Andor being homework for this series. I'm not happy with a single animated thing being homework. That will not fly.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, we still get the origin stories to this day of Spider-Man and Batman every time they come out with something. You know, it would literally not be anything for just them to have either a couple lines of dialogue or a quick flashback to tell the audience what's going on, or to show some sort of significance of what's happening.
You want to see the
because
fans
of something in the
fap
past.
all over themselves. Andre was right. If you just showed flashbacks of scenes from Rebels and Clone Wars in live action, the fans would have went, oh my God. So like,
everyone over.
Yeah, it's just redonkulous at the end of the day. I get bored listening to you guys fucking talk about this shit. Like, I'm really checking out of it. Like, I'm just so tired of it. Ahsoka is such like 12th level fan fiction fucking fap all over it bullshit.
Yeah.
Well, on that note,
3 more weeks, Tom. 3 more weeks on Thursdays. You can just show up.
She is
like
the
30
epitome of
late.
Mary fucking Sue. That might as well be her fucking name.
Oh yeah, she beat Anakin in the World Between Worlds.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, no. She disarms him and takes his saber and then chooses not to kill him. I'm like, God, Anakin just got beat by Ahsoka. Like,
to be fair, he wanted her to beat him, though. This was her test.
Yeah.
I mean,
this
at
shit's
least
testing me.
We can try to comfort ourselves with that, at least.
On that note, on Tom's ranty note, let's shuffle on.
No offense to those who enjoy it, but this is just the lowest level shit, man. I'm sorry.
Let's shuffle on to some super chats then. How about that? So Israel, so just as a quick one, guys, thank you so much for all your continued support on your favorite podcast. We're funded by you guys for you guys, so super chats are the way to do it. You join in the conversation. I saw someone complaining about pay to talk and stuff. No, you can chit chat. You can enjoy the conversation with everyone else. But obviously, you know, this is a panel. We're communicating with one another for you guys. And then if you want to indulge and join in as well, that's where the super chat functions. You don't have to pay to chit chat, but for super chats, it's a way to support the show and then get us.
This isn't a chill stream.
Yeah, chill streams on my Sunday chill streams and your chill streams. You just chit chat with everyone. That's a different format, basically. Different streams for different formats. But as I was saying, everyone, thank you so much for your super chats at the moment. So we'll get through some of these. Israel R for $5 says, my mystic space whales in Ahsoka. Where's Space Captain Ahab? Greetings, everyone.
Yeah, I can just see them coming into the new galaxy and Thrawn and all his little pirates, and they're gonna be like, "There she blows, Thrawn. There be whales."
Hard.
You know what's funny is
What?
I can almost draw a parallel between the true story that Moby Dick is based on and Star Wars as a franchise. For those who don't know, the shortest version I can tell you is the true story is it's based on this group of mainly a captain who decided he's going to take his ship out past where they're supposed to go because he just knew it in his gut that the whaling was better out there, and ended up getting his whole crew killed in the process is what happened. And basically by the end of it, it's literally just two boats sailing and they end up eating each other. Right? Like that's what this fucking franchise is at this point. Ahsoka is a fucking raft out on the fucking ocean of a dying franchise, and it's literally eating its own foot at this point.
Well, so just as another quick aside, so on the topic of the space whales anyway, when she was out there on top of the ship, is there not like a great deal of turbulence? How was she able to stick to the
I guess not.
to
I
the
guess
thing
it's
again?
she's got force shields that
Shoes?
block
Force
shields
force
to block the
shields.
wind. You just
Fucking
can't
hell.
see it.
Force boots. She's got force boots.
And she's now Ahsoka the White, like Gandalf the White.
Yeah.
But this already happened in Rebels, so this is now a
Did it?
second time. Yeah, it did. She
What,
already
with same outfit and everything.
same outfit. She was all in white. Same
I was
outfit.
joking. You're actually being serious.
No, I'm being dead serious. She in Rebels, she already went through this process where she became Ahsoka the White and was in the all white, and then they just did it again in live action, and she's becoming Ahsoka White again.
Why is people praising this that watch Rebels or whatever it was?
I
Wars,
don't.
whatever. Why
don't
are they
get
praising it if you've seen it
don't know.
already and it's a rehash?
Because they saw Anakin and Ahsoka live action together.
Have better standards, guys. Honestly, I didn't know that. That makes me resent
the funny thing
quite
is
a lot.
You know that makes it worse, not better.
Yeah, that makes it significantly worse. It makes it significantly worse that everyone's fapping over it as well because you've seen it and they're just rehashing it.
Yeah. Joke's on us. This was just a way to get everybody out of the way, so the whale's going to digest them on the trip to wherever they're going.
Oh, well, hopefully that happens then.
And then we have like an actual show that'll happen.
Does anybody see the problem here, the inherent problem with this? And this is the same thing with Marvel. Like, we literally have a situation here where you are expecting people to not only have seen the Star Wars movies, but to have watched 2 cartoon shows, Mandalorian, all this other shit. I mean, this is getting to the point where it's such nerd niche territory that, and I said it in the back of the chat, like it's burying under its own weight at this point.
Yeah, massively. Oh, 100% it is. But Marvel...
And trying to shoehorn her in as such an important character is a whole set of problems onto itself. They already have enough other problems, is what I'm trying to say.
No, I completely agree.
The problem is also just how much it is, because we did a video on like the 15 vital episodes you need to see, apparently, according to the Hollywood Reporter. Where there they also said that, the total number of episodes, like that's Nick helped me out here, but I think there's got to be like several hundreds episodes.
That Star Wars girl actually posted a whole thing of it. It is literally like 3 rows of shit. It is almost every single episode of everything.
Yeah.
Well, let's shuffle on to another super chat. So we've got Istari Azul for $4.99. It says, till last night, I thought Nia DaCosta and Ava DuVernay were the same people. Are we sure they aren't? I mean, they might as well be. They're both they both cry racism left, right, and center.
They are. Yeah, they're top tier race.
They're cut from the same cloth. That's for sure. They might as well be, honestly. And if everyone was as racist as they claim everyone was, the true reaction would be they look the bloody same. That's a joke, obviously, in terms of what they say. Get it? Hopefully. Yeah. Anyway, moving on. Zephyr became a new member of the channel, so thank you so much. Do appreciate that. Solo for €5. App name sent. The Ahsoka show is like Lost. No explanations needed.
Well, in this case, the audience is the ones who are lost.
Sure.
Yeah, and it's so funny because I see all these comments in our video of everybody that thinks they have it all figured out.
Oh, they love it.
But they can't prove their theory on it from the episode. You can't prove that what you're saying is real or that that's what it the interpretation, the correct one, because I got 4 other jack wagons over here that are giving me 4 other different theories than what you're giving me. So which one of you guys are right? All you guys are confused and don't know what's going on either. So don't sit there and get bitchy at me just because I'm lost, just like everybody else is.
Well, this is where I've been comparing it to the Snyder thing, and a lot of people are, I don't know about that. The one's better. No, I'm like, no, you're not listening to me. This is the thing. I'm hearing and seeing the same exact fucking thing after I went and seen BVS twice, 2 days in a row, and still said it fucking sucks. I didn't miss anything the first time. They're like, yes, you did. You just don't understand. You're not a true fan. That is exactly what everybody is saying to anybody who doesn't like Ahsoka. You don't understand. You're just not a true fan.
Yeah, we've been getting it left and right the last 2 days.
Well, I mean, Nick, I can understand why, they're attacking you. I mean,
yeah.
Look, and I'll quote Quentin Tarantino, and this is one of my favorite sayings he's ever said. Sometimes you just have to turn your brain off and understand it's just a movie, stupid. But sometimes it's just a stupid movie. And that applies to TV shows too.
But it has to at least make some bit of sense. Like this stuff sticks out like a sore thumb. I mean, it's not just like
it has to make sense in universe. There has to be some sort of law and sort of physics that work, rules, in universe for it to function. That's what people forget about these things. So anyway, shuffling on. D has been a member for 8 months and says the reboots the R-boots are the best part of Ahsoka, eh? I don't know what that is.
The robots.
Robots.
I think they're talking about Pootie Tang droid.
Yeah,
I like Pootie Tang droid. I like Pootie Tang droid.
That's Matt Smith, right?
No. David Tennant.
David Tennant. Sorry. Yeah. All right. I get them confused. They're both ugly English fellows.
Hey, Black Saber for $5 says, I don't know how Filoni can say that the other shows are not required when the events of these shows are predicated on what happened in Rebels. Well, you are right. I think,
and now Clone Wars.
Now Clone Wars as well. I think they're trying to get around that by like trying to explain bits and pieces in the show, but they've done it in such a terrible way that it just doesn't really work. So, yeah, I mean, it's a failure. You absolutely have to fully appreciate this. You would have had to have watched those shows without a shadow of a doubt.
Yep. Well, I mean, to be fair, in order to understand parts of Mandalorian, you kind of needed to know who Ahsoka, who the flip she was, also would have been helpful. But I mean, you can set aside one episode where like this is a character you don't know much about, but like a whole show based on it's like, can I get some background, something?
Just some. Well, that's the arrogance of Filoni.
I mean, literally just a single sentence of dialogue or two. It would be all that it would take,
Again, that's the arrogance of Filoni because he thought that everyone loved his character so much. That's arrogance. It's just arrogance.
Here's the weirdest thing, because I've seen some of the cartoons, right? I mean, it's people always ask me, well, have you seen any of the Rebels? You seen any of Clone Wars? I'm like, yeah, but it's not going to help you. You have to watch the entire like storyline in order to, get some kind of a ground to operate from. And you're not even done with that. I mean, it's just, it's infuriating. And look, it went from, I really thought this was going to be a comedy. That's why I got on board.
Turned into that.
Might as well be at this point.
But the slowest sword dueling ever in history happened in this last episode. I'm sorry, I can't let that go.
You're really on that. You really didn't like that.
No, because everything in the show was slow. At least you can move faster with lightsabers. And you decided that was not a choice you wanted to make. The choice is we're going to make this plotting and boring, and even the sword fighting is boring. Thank you.
And the slow towards the end there when they did the slow pan of the space whales where they're just flying, it was literally like 2 minutes of just watching them fly through the air.
They really are. I think what's worse, sorry to interrupt, I just remembered this. What's worse is they convinced people to go out and watch this in the fucking theaters.
Oh, I would have been so pissed. I would have
And
been so pissed
it's all
if I
chicks.
went to the theater.
Everything's chicks. If you're in command, you're a chick. And not only that, you're a dumb chick because you give orders and then everybody fucking ignores you. It's the thing that bothered me the other day. We were watching the fleet is coming to get, Ahsoka and Hera, and like, you need to get out of the way. The Wills are going to run into you. You need to take evasive motion actions or whatever the hell she said. And then guess what? Nobody went anywhere.
I thought they didn't have the resources to send the ships in the first place, but now they have resources. Now they have the resources to send just to go arrest them or bring them back. Like what? Why didn't you just send them with her in the first place? Just to investigate. The New Republic's so dumb. And when I was watching Rebels, like the Space Whales thing, like I was like, okay, it's just a cartoon, but the space whale thing is dumb. Hyperspace flying space whales, like,
built-in interstellar
where it comes out of
drives.
their butt. It's just like, this is dumb. This is so dumb.
Yeah.
I just can't with this show anymore.
Well, neither can Space Jettison for $4.99. Says, I enjoy the shit clown wars talks on my favorite podcast. Well, so do we, kind of. So much, dude. High Def 10 sent in $10. Says, cheers, lads. How would you compare the original Predator to the latest film? Thought it was decent, but suffers from modern writing. So
I liked Prey.
There was opportunity there, I think. Sorry, Nate.
No, I look. How are you going to compare it to the original Predator to the current one? I mean, they're not really comparable in a sense that the first one is, Predator is what it is. I mean, it's a very highly, masculine, super raged out T movie, right?
Yeah.
And there's a lot more, there's, and that it sort of stands on that merit, quite frankly. The latest one included a lot of elements which they had to. I mean, saying it suffers from modern writing, I do disagree with that, actually, because I think that they were quite smart in how they had her dispatch the Predator, because throughout the movie she's learning bits and pieces and she puts it all together towards the end. So I actually quite enjoyed that element of it, because I was thinking to myself, like, we all know that the Predator is going to die on every single movie. We know that. They're never going to let the Predator win. They should. I'm not saying that they shouldn't. They should. But we all know that they're going to die. So I was wondering how, watching this movie, I'm like, how are they going to write it that she manages to get the upper hand? And I think that they did a reasonably, to me, satisfactory job, quite frankly. I liked it. I thought it was good. But anyway, Nick.
The original Predator movie is like the GOAT of all the Predator movies. I don't think we'll ever get films. Yeah, I don't think we'll ever get a Predator movie that's going to be better than the original one. We might get one that's close or comparable, but that first one, man, good God. To talk about catching lightning in a bottle with that, all the cast that they had in that. And I mean,
it was based on a joke as well.
Yeah, it was, because, they were making jokes talking about, who's Rambo going to fight next? An alien. And that's actually a good idea, So yeah, the first one's great, but Prey, I thought they did a good job on that film. It's definitely not comparable to the original, but I thought it was one of the better Predator movies we've gotten in the last, 10, 20 years.
I honestly, I had a very good time with that film.
Yeah,
I really liked it. I've watched that film a couple of times now, actually, and it holds up. Like, even on second viewing, I really like it. It's pretty bloody brutal. Like, what that Predator does is very brutal, and I really enjoyed that a lot. Like, I enjoyed the fact that he's systematically going about testing the wildlife, going, is this worthy prey? No, it's not. I took this one down quite easy. And then it gets the bear and you're like, yeah, he thinks he's found something worth it. It's like, no, he's dispatched that pretty quick. And then comes to all of the humans. And I liked that. Like, it's supposed to be one of their first trips on Earth. And you're like, you can kind of see that when you're looking at it. I had a good time with that. I liked it quite a lot.
I thought there was a lot of room there for it to be something.
I like the original design of the Predator better than the design of the Predator we got in this one. Like, I understand why this one was different.
I agree with that.
But man, the classic design, it's the best.
Yeah, you can't beat the Jungle Hunter. Looks epic.
Yeah,
always looks epic.
Yeah. But Mr. H, to your point about the Predators never winning, I would argue that they did win in the Predators, because
true.
that one local team, they may have bought it, but our heroes, they're still trapped on that planet. There's no victory for them in it.
And that's what I like about that one, is that you actually have... See, and that's where I think the Predator's at its best, when it's being its most... Not like taking out like humans that could barely even defend themselves, but like that's what I like, is they dump what's supposedly Earth's best killers on that one planet, and that's what I thought was kind of neat about that idea. So they're like going up against the best of the best kind of a thing. So
yeah, I'd agree with that. I think I rewatched that film for the channel a fair while ago, and I remember going, this is better than I remember it being when I first watched it, and I was like, it deserves a second chance, from sort of people's viewing perspective. Like, it's not terrible, that film, to be fair. It's not, incredible either, but it's not terrible. I think a lot of people
need to
some
watch
stuff
Prey
with
yet.
it.
It's worth seeing.
I liked it.
I'm not the biggest Predator fan. Like I said, I like the first one. The second one's okay. Predators, to me, is the best of the sequels. Other than that, I could leave the rest. Like, I didn't even really care for Alien versus Predator. And the second one,
a lot of people don't care about Alien
unwatchable.
versus Predator.
Tom,
literally unwatchable.
With the fat Predators.
Set your expectations low, because there is a lot of modernity peppered in there.
Well,
yeah,
I have a hard time seeing like a Predator going up against a prehistoric tribe type thing.
They're not prehistoric.
Yeah, but they have what? They've got spears and bows and arrows, and this thing has fucking laser beams.
They got flintlock pistols as well. He doesn't actually have.
Okay, so it's that more modern. All right, I
it's
thought
like
it made it look like cave women and
like
shit.
1700s or something like that.
Oh, I didn't know that's modern.
He doesn't have laser beams.
Yeah, it's not the same Predators from like the original one with the shoulder cannon and
Well, that doesn't even make sense. They haven't. So it took really. They have been advanced a hell of a lot longer than that. If they don't have laser beams yet, then what the hell? Like 100 years later, they got laser beams.
It doesn't mean they always have to take them on a hunt, does it, Tom? Come on.
By that time, 100 years later, commandos have machine guns. Now it's okay.
That's true. That's all the farther we've gotten. If we already had pistols, it just. To me, the whole thing is kind of a stupid concept, but maybe the movie works. But
to say that they have to carry their laser beams on them all the time is just nonsense.
To me, it's petty. It's like, I can understand them coming to pay attention to us when we finally have like automatic machine guns and new things like that.
It's their first time on Earth, so you've got to remember, like, they're not going to bring everything. The point of them is the thrill of the hunt and the challenge. So once they recognize that we're more of a challenge, then it makes sense that they'd bring everything, because they're like, well, we need it all now, actually.
And besides, they probably have a shit ton more that we haven't seen that they bring for a real bind. I mean, they measured their stuff. So basically, like, okay, here's now prey that actually can shoot back. Well, cool, we'll bring something to shoot them, because if we go in unarmed against them, like we used to do. Like we used to basically just use our cunning to try to trick them and then overpower them physically and have fun with that. But now suddenly they have automated machine guns with which they can actually freaking kill us. So now we have to up our game. Now we have to use some stealth. Now we have to actually bring that laser. Of course, we don't have to bring these other things that we have. We leave that home because they're not there yet. But yeah, so basically that's just them adapting to the prey being able to kill from more of a distance. And you see all the reverse of that here, so I don't mind that per se.
Yeah, I mean, that's very in law, to be fair. So
yeah, absolutely.
I heard that the next one that they're looking at doing. Was that Andre?
No, I was just going to say, like, if you're working with that concept at all, then it's perfectly within the rules of the world you have established.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
the
agree.
the next one I heard that they're looking at doing is like during World War One, and how that
There's
conflict.
nothing official. That's all rumor and conjecture at this point.
Oh
in
yeah,
time.
yeah. It's just a
Yeah.
rumor. But
Yeah. I don't think they'll jump that far ahead. To be fair, I think that Dan Trachtenberg will stick it. Relative because
especially
he's
the
the
way
one doing
Prey
it.
ended, it seemed like there would
Yeah.
be another one that would happen shortly after that time frame.
Yeah. Anyway, there you go. High def. I hopefully answered your question well enough there. Ash Barn Ray, I think, for $4.99 this afternoon. Do you think there's a chance any of the late night shows will not come back after the strike? Who will miss them? Well, funny you should say that. Because that takes us nicely off to our next topic. Which is HBO's Real Time with Bill Maher to return to air without writers.
Didn't Drew Barrymore announce she was doing the same thing?
Yeah, she's getting destroyed too.
Yeah, scabs
by the Hollywood folks.
I'll be honest with you, Bill Maher's probably better off with some of his writers.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I'm kind of surprised that they were reliant on them. But he's getting absolutely roasted on Twitter because people are like, well, there's a few things to say here. Like, one, what happens if it gets better ratings without your shit writers? What are you going to do then? Which is true. So what happened? What's the story, ladies and gents? So obviously, for those that don't know, obviously that question from Ash makes perfect sense why we're sort of segueing off it. But obviously the writer's strike, all these late night talk shows, they're all scripted. They're not comedians. These people, I don't understand how they've gotten jobs. They're not funny, and no one's missed them. No one cares about these people remotely at all. And now they're trying to come back because obviously they're losing money. Did anyone see the group of them doing that shitty podcast?
Yes, Strike Force.
Oh yeah,
Andre actually tried to watch it.
I tried to listen to it.
Do you hate yourself, Andre?
No, I love my audience. I'm going to subject myself to it so I can adequately review it. I have listened through most of the second episode.
How not funny they are.
It's for two things to say about it. One, they claim that it is this homemade thing, basically without any team. But for those of us that do this, I can tell right away, this is highly produced. It is highly edited, and it's ironic when they go and they talk about, I miss our fact-checking team, miss my research team, missed a lawyer, and then you have like some cool admittance. You have like one of them like basically saying that we don't really have any fact checkers to make sure that what we say is the truth. We have lawyers that sign off on what we say is legal and we can get away with saying it. That's what they have. And then later on in the video, it's obvious that there's still a lawyer there because there was like some name and stuff that was bleeped over.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
They too much. So after the fact, then they went and they bleeped over some names and stuff, and you can totally tell that there's been quite a bit of editing going on. This I certainly recognize that having edited quite a number of interviews and even podcasts myself back when we did that. Yeah. So this is a highly produced, highly uninteresting.
Yeah.
And literally, you can go to any, not just us, but any random talk show on YouTube.
Just come here.
Stream. It's going to be as or more interesting.
Don't go to random ones. Come here, ladies and gents. Don't listen to Andre.
Well, that's really, let's be real. That's what they're trying to do. You only have to watch a few minutes of this to figure out what they're trying. They're trying to be us, and I don't mean like us personally, but I mean they're trying to be what the YouTube sphere is doing right now.
Yep.
And they can't do it. Why? Because they're disingenuous. Why? Because they probably don't even really like each other.
Yeah.
So there's like several factors there. Not only that, these guys are really used to having their hands being held through these shows. They've got notes, they've got scripts. Now, Bill, on the other hand, here's where I'll give him some exceptions. He's always been a comedian and actor, whatever. He does work on his own writing. It's not just solely his writers. So I don't know if he's just not going to do the monologue, because I remember the last strike he did the same thing. He did his show, but he just didn't do the monologue. That's all it was.
Yeah.
And in that respect, I don't see why. That's where I kind of freaked out, or not freaked out, but I'm like kind of scratching my head here. I'm like, the last writer's strike we had, they didn't shut all this shit down. They just went without the writers. So what the fuck is the deal here? Why are they trying to make the writers and the actors the bad guys in this situation instead of the studio? So this is one time I will stick up for the writers and the actors in this, because people need to fucking work, right? And this is what we keep saying: is it's not just the actors and the writers who are suffering here. It's all the other people that get supported by these, productions too. So
well, that's actually what he says. So just to get into it a little bit, so he said it's a controversial move given that the show is written by a team of late night writers who are currently in the 4th month of the strike. Other talk show hosts such as Drew Barrymore have faced ire from writers, while The Talk was picketed at CBS Radford as they were doing a run through. The comedian already caused controversy last week when he voiced his opinions on the strike on his Club Random podcast. He called a lot of the writers' demands kooky. What I find objectionable about the philosophy of the strike is it seems to be they have really morphed a long way from the 2007 strike, where they kind of believe that you're owed a living as a writer, and you're not. This is show business. This is the make or miss league. Given that there will be no... Go on.
I was just gonna say, I'll give Bill credit. He's been calling out a lot of the woke shit over the past year too.
Yeah.
And a lot of the stupidity.
Yeah, I agree. Given that there will be no writers on the show, Mars' monologue, desk piece, and new rule segment will be cut. So that answers your question there, Tom. As they were during the 2007-08 strike, the format will be a panel discussion with Mara and guests. Literally what we do, actually. But on live TV this time.
Well, that's his show anyway after the intro.
Yeah, well, yeah. Real time. So this is what he said. Real time is coming back, unfortunately, without writers or writing. But that goes to show how much writing was done before then. They must have done a lot of the writing actually for their discussions as well. They would have had to. What, were they only just writing a monologue? Are they? Is that it? Really? Like they're only a few segments? Seems odd.
Well,
it's been 5 months.
I would anticipate that they have to write his monologue, and they have to write his.
They have new rules. They have monologue, and that's pretty much it. Unless they have another segment they add once.
Well,
they
need
a team of writers for that.
Well, according to the article, there's desk time that he also has written and stuff like that. But I feel like, anybody can kind of wing this. I mean, I could probably walk in there and wing this. I think Tom could do it.
Well, I think Bill's I don't think he's going to have a problem. That's what I was trying to say before. He's a veteran. He's been doing this for so fucking long. That's what he's saying here. Is like, we did this before. Why did we stop production? Like,
this is what he says. He says, the writers have important issues that I sympathize with, and I hope they're addressed to their satisfaction, but they are not the only people with issues, problems, and concerns, which is true. Absolutely true. And he is talking about the below the line, other sort of line workers on it all. But he's being ripped apart. So WGA called Bill Maher's decision to bring HBO Real Time back during writer's strike disappointing. Guild says it will picket the show. So the WGA is taking a swipe at Bill Maher after the comedian revealed he's bringing back HBO's Real Time during the writer's strike. The Guild has called Maher's decision disappointing and said that it would picket the show, which is filmed at Television City in LA. Here's the statement. Bill Maher's decision to go back on the air while his guild is on strike is disappointing. If he goes forward with his plan, he needs to honor more than the spirit of the strike. Bill Maher is obligated as a WGA member to follow the strike rules and not perform any writing services. It is difficult to imagine how Real Time with Bill Maher can go forward without a violation of WGA strike rules taking place. WGA will be picketing this show.
The same way they did in 2007.
Like, it's not going to end well for anyone at this point in time, is it?
I love how he called them kooky, because that's really what he's saying. A lot of the same stuff we've been saying about some of these up and coming generation, where they think they're entitled to shit.
Yeah. I mean, he says that much of the staff is struggling mightily, and he is right. When we've spoken about this on this podcast, your favorite podcast, ladies and gents, that's the real, like, pretty much everyone's opinion is, don't care about the writers, don't really care about the actors. It's how it's going to destroy everyone else. You know, all of the other people, the people that you don't even know what their job is. You never even heard of their job before, but it's, that's how they make their living.
I mean, there are so many people that are involved in a production, whether it be television or film. I mean, a lot of people just don't know. They've never actually been on set or seen what's actually going on. And even the people that aren't on set that are working hard to make sure things go on. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, so lots of people are like, you're a scab and this, that, and the other. And look, I can get it if you're massively invested in the writer's side of things. So I've been working to get a writer and director on this podcast as well. Nice chap. I've interviewed him before. A nice guy. And I see that he retweets a lot of this stuff. And I know he's massively invested in this stuff. But you got to take the blinkers off at some point, and you've got to look at the wider industry at play outside of your small section of it. There are other people that are massively affected by this, and they're going broke. So this is a good thing that he's doing this. Andre, you want to jump in on this one?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I agree completely. I think that you nailed it. I didn't really have anything to add, because what I'm hearing now more and more is that even the writers are fed up with this strike. More and more are saying that the previous offers from the counterparty is one that was good enough and that they could live with. And the sticking points is something that most writers don't even really want. I mean, my understanding is that one of the requirements is that there be a minimum size of writers' rooms, that there has to be a minimum of so many people, that every studio, every TV channel has to agree that for whatever they make, there has to be a minimum of so many writers. And shouldn't that be up to the showrunner, how many writers they need? Like, if they can get by with 4, why do you have to have 8? Because that's the minimum number, or something like that. So more and more people are in active disagreement with the holdout things that are delaying things right now. People are saying, "Oh, pay the writers." Right now, in this moment, it's not the studios that are the problem. Apparently, the final offers are pretty fair. It's the WGA and them alone, which right now are the problem. And we have several friends that have made revelations about them, about the kind of people who are running that joint, and it's not good. So I think that we're going to see more of this, more people that see, you know what, this has gone on long enough, and we don't even support what they're fighting for any longer.
Well, you'll see the union. You'll see people break with the union. That's going to happen. It's been long enough and they've really operated in bad faith. I mean, and again, I have some insight into that too, fortunately, like Andre and Tom and others. But this is unsustainable for a lot of different people, a lot of below the line employees. They can't do this much longer. And so it's, a lot of people dipped into their retirement funds. That was something that was reported at the beginning of the week. That you have people that are desperately trying to get the state of California to underwrite them with unemployment insurance, which I think is insane, because the safety net for unemployment is there for people who lose their jobs because they get fired, not because they walk away from their jobs to go on strike. So
to bully or hold companies to ransom for more stuff. Again, the WGA, they've been offered stuff. Just fucking accept it, or counter offer. Like, it is what it is. They're not even from what we know, they're just holding everyone to ransom for obscene stuff now. Like, it doesn't even make any sense. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
I think the studios are gonna hold out as long as they need to. I think they hope that the unions do go away, and then they just make individual deals with individual people. And I mean, because if it gets to that point, then the production costs for a lot of this stuff is going to come way down when the unions are out of the way. Because they're spending ungodly amounts of money on these production costs. It's ridiculous. So I think they'll be able to be a little bit more financially sound on their costs when moving forward. Once they're unions are out of the way.
Hopefully. Let's get to some more of these super chats because we've got a fair few of them. So thank you so much, ladies and gents, for one, we've got nearly 600 people watching, tuning in live for your favorite podcast. So that's incredible. Thank you all so much. Just as a quick FYI, smash that thumbs up button on your way in. Doesn't help the stream itself, because it doesn't matter to the video anyway, because this gets unlisted. But hopefully it will tell YouTube to notify you that the podcast is on. So that's kind of why I ask. If you want to help us out, you want to get your comment read out, get us to talk about something in particular, super chats are the way to do it. It goes a long way. YouTube's doing some very weird stuff at the moment. Don't want to get too much into it, but it's very odd. Like a third of views are down, 50% of views. It's odd. It's very bad. So you want to support everyone, super chats are the way to do it with your favorite YouTubers, guys. But let's shuffle on. So Al Humphrey sent in a £3 super sticker. Thank you so much. And the Big Nose sent in $2. Says, as they say, it's better a second time around, guys. I don't know what I was referencing, actually. What was that about? Oh, that was about Ahsoka. Yeah, goddamn.
Watching it the second time around. Normally, every time I watch it the second time around, my score goes down.
No,
the only thing I'm watching the second time around is One Piece.
He's talking about reliving the basically reusing stuff from Rebels. That's what he's talking about. It's better a second time around. Yeah. Space Dave sent in $2 Canadian. Says, Mr. H, thanks for your aliens videos. Love them. Yeah. So guys, just as a quick one, a lot of people won't be aware. Obviously, I've got lots of new subscribers as well. But back in the day, this channel was built off of a lot of sort of lore deep dives as well as movie reviews here and there. And as the industry, as we've just been discussing now, the industry is changing a little bit and there's going to be big pauses. I brought a lot of the lore videos back. So today, in fact, I worked very, very hard on 2 lore videos. So I've got a Vladimir Harkonnen, the Baron Harkonnen explained video. So check that out. You might really like it and you'll learn some stuff about Dune lore.
I got the Dutch one on my to watch list.
Yeah, that's a good one. I did like
Predator.
That one.
Yeah.
And then I also did today the God Hand, because lots of people were really surprised, but it means that you've not been looking in the background of my videos. So I've got Berserk 3 volumes right there, guys. I like Berserk. So I did the God Hand explained as well, the Architects of Darkness. So check them out, guys. But thank you so much, Space Dave. I'm glad you've been enjoying them anyway. Nick, I also did what happened to Mike Harrigan after Predator 2 as well.
I saw that. It's on my to watch list also.
Good.
You got the thumbnail of all the cast on the front. Yeah.
It's good. I've been enjoying them. They're good fun. But obviously, because YouTube's not notifying people, please do check them out, guys. And check out the community tab, because I post a lot of stuff at the community tab. So if it's not showing up in your feed, come to the channel, go to the community tab. A lot of videos will be there. So Donovan Bradford has been a member for 28 months and says, sadly, some fans are guilty of unconditional love with Ahsoka right now.
I can see it.
Yeah, I can't argue with it. It's that sort of jaded love of it all. Yeah, I don't disagree. Tom working for $5 says, while I was big into Rebels, Clone Wars, too much reference requires knowing. Yeah,
I tried watching Rebels. It was just too kiddie for me. I mean, nothing against anybody who likes it. It just for me, it was just
The first season definitely was, but Rebels actually, I really enjoyed that animated show. I didn't do all the Clone Wars stuff, but the Rebels, especially the last couple seasons, was good. I liked it, but yeah, the first season's very, very kiddie.
Yeah, those things are not for me. Those kind of kids shows. Ultimately, like it's not. It doesn't float my boat. That kind of that animation style never really. I didn't like it either.
Especially the animation style. Like to me, I look at that. I just look at still, and I want to throw up. It's so bad. It's so ugly for me. I cannot bring myself to watch it.
It just comes across cheap.
I mean, that something is made for kids that I have no problems with, as long as it is written well. I mean, just ask us about He-Man. He-Man, anyone?
Yeah.
It was made for kids. We all love it.
Yep.
Biker Mice from Mars, one of Mr. H's favorites.
God, I love Street Sharks.
3
G.I.
stars.
Joe,
G.I. Joe,
Transformers.
8 star. Like none of us
the-
here have an issue with things being made for kids when you have
Yeah.
skilled people doing it, and it also helps if it's like some decent animation, which
Yeah.
isn't too off-putting. To me, that is like a really big thing. Maybe the Ahsoka or maybe the Filoni verse, maybe his fan fiction is good once you get into it. I'm not saying anything about the quality itself. I'm saying I simply can't watch it because the animation makes me sick to my stomach.
Mm.
Yeah, I can't deny that.
You guys
Can't
are a
deny
bunch
that.
of nerds.
Nerds.
Fluffy panda, very cute dog in your avatar there. Love a doggo avatar. For $10 says, first thing, Disney throws out EU, yet steals parts from EU. Games, cartoon. It's the 5th episode. Nothing has happened. In the books, Leia plus Force Ghost Anakin had a great interaction. This meant squat. I mean, I don't know much about that, but I know that they threw out the EU and then they stole stuff from the EU, and now they just I know that much. But the other stuff, they have nothing's happened in this show.
The EU had
goes
a
nowhere.
lot better moments in it than what we've gotten in the show. Oh, and in the show, they mentioned Leia Organa for like 1 sec. They just mentioned the name, and everybody's like, "Oh my god, they said her name!" I'm like,
Jesus, really?
who cares? Like, they're not doing anything with her character.
Some people
Maybe they're going to teach her to run properly.
Yeah.
Wade A. Parker for $20 Canadian says, how do you think the honor system of the Predators is impacted by the actions of the rough elements like those in the movie Predators? So there is no honor system for those Predators in the movie Predators. They are not working on that honor system. The idea behind that clan or that group of Predators is that they're rival factions sort of between those super Predators and the jungle hunter style Predators, which incidentally was a fantastic costume that they had made for, the crucifix, the crucified Predator in the camp. Incredible costume for that one. Bloody amazing by a pretty small VFX house. It wasn't Studio ADI that did it, and it was one of the best ones ever. Nailed it. Anyway, there is no honor system there. They don't have an honor system. They're not looking to work on an honor system. That's why they just went around murdering people left, right, and center. They just don't care. They're looking just to. I mean, if you're talking about in lore anyway, in universe, for all intents and purposes, they are bad bloods, right? They're super predators. They're bad bloods. That's the kind of thought process there. I don't know if anyone else wants to add to the sort of nerdiness there.
No, it's all you, Nate.
Yeah, I think you pretty much said it all.
I should be the super nerd. Fuck's sake. Oh dear. Michael Strelitz for £2 says Alien or Aliens? First suspense, second action.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if that was a question. Like, what do we prefer?
No, I think.
But yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
Aliens for me.
See, I watched Aliens first, so I have a soft spot for that above Alien, even though. So what I mean, like, it's what your first interaction with the sort of material is.
See,
I
really saw like Aliens first too.
I'm a huge fan of the second film, and I love the first film, but the second film is really.
I think the films are so different that, like, because like the first film is basically Halloween in space.
They're both great,
and Ridley Scott even said that. And then Aliens, on the other hand, that's like a flat out action film. There's not very much that's horrific about it in the sense of like it's not set up like a horror film.
It's got some horror like elements, jump scares, but it is way more action.
It's more set up like a we're going in to save them kind of Rambo kind of film or missing in action kind of film.
Yeah,
that's what I like.
I like
Space Marines, freaking smart guns, pulse rifles. Like,
they didn't just retread the first film, right? Like that's the great part.
They complement one another very well. They complement one another very, very well.
Kind of like Godfather 1 and 2, but even more extreme, right? Because I mean, Godfather 2 just feels like a continuation of this. Not so much feels like it does feel like a continuation of, but it also stands on its own. Like you said, Nate, you don't have to have seen the first movie to watch Aliens.
Not
and
at
get
all.
what's going on.
It works very well. Everything's explained in dialogue, so it's not needless exposition. Like it's every single dialogue. So this is the point. Like when you have a good movie, no dialogue is wasted. To compare it to Ahsoka, all the fucking dialogue is a waste. Nothing happens. Nothing's purposeful. When it comes to aliens, for instance, it's all everything is there for you. It's on a plate, but it's not needless exposition, and it's purposeful. That's good writing.
It almost pays homage to the original movie that Alien is based on. I don't know if you guys know that or not. I can't remember what exactly it was called. It was one of those It movies. It comes from another planet or whatever. Can't remember the exact title. But in the story, it's told in reverse, right? We actually get the last survivor who lands on Earth, and they're telling the story of how the rest of the crew got killed. So it's kind of similar in the beginning of this movie. You basically get Ripley in the beginning, and she knows what's going on. Nobody else knows except for when we find out they do know. But you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of a similar, so it's almost kind of paying homage to that in a weird way too. And it starts off like a lot of sci-fi stories do. You don't have, all this background until you meet this character who just happens to show up, and they're like, you don't understand.
Yeah, no, you're completely right. Completely right. So we've got 2 from What's Your First Thought? So that's part 1 and part 2. So we'll do both of them first before we shuffle on. So it says part 1, in Predator lore, the type of weapons you would hunt with would depend on how well you hunt. The more kills you have, the more weapons are up for your selection. This is why in AVP they had laser cannons thousands of years before the first movie. So I'm guessing what he's referencing. Well, AVP's not. It was kind of technically canon, but it's not technically canon anymore. So it's kind of all over the place because with Prey, they sort of wiped AVP from the map again by going, this is their first time hunting on Earth.
Yep.
So yeah, you are right though, yes, but also I guess all the same other reasons that we gave as well. Anything else to add, Nick?
No, I mean it makes sense. I'm glad AVP's been kind of wiped from canon. I thought that was so dumb. Like I remember when they announced that movie, I was freaking stoked. Like I called Coach and was like, dude, look what they're making. Like there's a trailer that's going to be coming out. They had a whole website. I literally visited the website every day. I could not wait for this movie to come out. Then it's on Earth. First, wrong, big mistake. And then,
funnily enough,
that was the first. I was just like, "Oh golly!" And then the fat predators. Oh,
the bodybuilding ones, not lithe. They're just bloody jacked. Funnily enough, that was the first movie I'd ever had leaks for. I found all the leaks online. I knew everything that happened in that film before I went to watch it.
Oh wow!
Because I wish I would have
had them.
Yeah,
I might have waited for it to come out on digital or home physical media.
Larry Quadowitz for $10 says, "Hey, Miss H and friends, Bill Maher lost me when he said Stan Lee just made people want to go to a movie after he just passed. Yeah, it's in bad taste. Also, that influencers shouldn't get to make money by just being themselves. Shake my head. Yeah, that's a really dumb comment to make, isn't it?
He does make some dumb comments. I'm not going to say he don't.
But no one's infallible.
The thing with him is that I will give him at least credit for is, unlike most of the lefties, especially the left media, he does know people on both sides. He does listen to both sides. He does call out the left on their bullshit. I've actually been checking in because he's been interviewing a lot of people in these podcasts he's been doing on his own, where he just sits there and gets drunk and stoned with these guys, and they actually have a conversation. And I think this is why Sean Penn is going out there and saying all this stupid shit right now too, because he's misinterpreting what Bill told him to do. But Bill told him what we've been saying for years, and that was, you guys, you the idiots that started this shit, you're the ones that got to go out and stop this shit.
Right? He's like the Robert Meyer Burnett of talk show hosts,
kind of, but he's not. No, Robert's much nicer. Like Bill will tell you to fuck off.
Oh yeah,
right. Like that's the thing.
R&B is definitely nicer than Bill Maher.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean,
so got a few
I'm not
more
going to give him all the credit in the world, but I'll just give him that much anyway.
A few more super chats just to get to real quick before we shuffle on, just because they kind of make sense as the topics that we just finished, and then we'll move on, guys. A Tipping Barn sent in $4.99 says, the fact that the show is called Real Time using prepared writing seems hilarious to me. Yeah, that's true.
Good point.
Yeah. I didn't even think about that, to be fair. You are right. You can't Bill Maher's real time then. Is it called real time or is it called real
It's
time?
real time with Bill Maher. And to be fair, this is the structure of the show. The show starts, he does a prepared monologue, he sits down and has a one-on-one with a special guest, and then he has a panel, which is usually made up of a journalist, some type of senator or somebody who works in the government, some type of commentator and or celebrity, and himself. And then they'll talk for almost a good 45 minutes. And then the end, he'll have like a 10-15 minute segment where it's called New Rules. And that's where the written stuff comes back in. So the intro and the ending are the only parts that are actually written. But yeah.
God, okay. Action Com for $5 says Bill Maher's doing what he's always done. He always jumps on the side that he thinks is going to win. There's no hill he's willing to die on. Yeah, because wasn't he like, you need to get vaccinated and all this kind of stuff? He's pretty big on vaccines, wasn't he? As far as I'm aware.
I can't remember.
I don't think he pushed it
as much as the worst. There were many who were far more
I was going to say
than him. I mean, that's not what he's the most. I'm not going to say that he never said anything of the sort, but that is not what he is the most associated for saying.
He was also one of the first ones to call him out on some of the bullshit on some of that though too, and say why is it bad just to ask questions? I remember him saying something like that as well. But I can't. Yeah, I don't remember him being so.
Oh, I don't know. It was a genuine question.
Like, I don't remember him being as bad as extreme as some of the other guys if he did. But I do remember him questioning it, and I do remember him talking about it once and kind of calling some of them out on some of their bullshit, but not like. Not an extreme on either side, I would say. I'd have to go research a little better.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Fergal Kelly has been a member for 27 months, so thank you so much. 6 sent in a $5 super sticker. Thank you so much. And thank you, everyone, for joining your favorite podcast here. We've got 570 odd people here, so thank you so much. Really do appreciate that. So, ladies and gents, what we're going to shuffle on to now is...
Amber Turd.
Look, there's an Aquaman 2 trailer. I watched it, and I've released my video during this stream. And it was a whole lot of bloody nothing. So I just want to talk about it with everyone. Has everyone seen the trailer or not?
I have not.
Yeah.
Okay. Culture, have you seen it?
Yeah. I watched it while I was creating things for you.
Yeah. Nick, if you just go and watch it now in the background and come back when you've watched it, and we'll start the conversation. You go watch it and then come back.
Yeah.
All right. Give me like how long
3
is
minutes.
it? Like 3 minutes.
3 minutes.
3 minutes.
Yeah.
Give me like 5 because I'm gonna go refill my drink too. I'll be right back.
All right. Andre,
he's gonna go.
What did you think of that bloody trailer?
It looked dumb. It looked. It like if I was completely removed from any kind of history or anything to it, it looked dumb, but it looked like dumb that might be fun. It's because of the history that I'm even questioning that. But if I try to put myself in the mindset of, and emphasis on try, if I put myself in the mindset of I know nothing of the behind the scenes shenanigans or anything like that, when I go into that mindset, it looks like dumb fun and something I might be interested in seeing.
Yeah. I thought I didn't like the slapstick humor. Like, oh, now I'm a father, and but now I've got a job.
I'm also a king, badass.
Yeah, I don't want to see Water Dude Bro 2.
And then you got the other dude telling him he fucked up as a king anyway, but yeah, sorry.
But who's he monologuing to? Why is he washing his fucking outfit? It's supposed to be in the ocean, isn't it, mate? You're supposed to live in the sea. That's an Atlantean outfit. Why is it hanging out to dry?
Well, seawater does stink.
So it's made under the ocean anyway, isn't it?
He doesn't want to have fish BO. That's what.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I felt nothing watching it. I didn't get excited. It's a whole lot of big flashy action. I'm like,
I laughed at it for all the wrong reasons.
What did you? Well, yeah, go on then.
Oh Lord, this is just. This is literally just dumping it at this point. I mean,
They are.
the trailer didn't feed me full of anything, like you said. It is a whole lot of just.
I've just remembered. Sorry, just to interrupt.
No, please.
Did everyone get Return of the King vibes with the fucking
Sort of.
ghost people going? Oh, he's got that black trident. Oh, they're gonna come and help him. Like, fuck off.
Well, that too, and I kind of got the vibes of it's going to lead up to this big, quote unquote, epic battle because they got to outdo what they did in the first film, you know.
Yeah.
So there's that.
But is Black Manta really all that?
But yeah, he's got he's Black Manta, and now he's got the black trident.
Okay.
All the black.
All of it.
All of it.
All of it.
BLM.
Black Power, is that what you're saying?
Black Lives Manta.
Oh, that was better. That was much better. I can't stop that.
Anyway.
No, we got to see Amber Turd for a whole of 2 seconds, though.
Hey, I made sure you saw it in the clip that I rendered.
Actually, I don't even think it was 2 seconds.
No, she did punch the window pretty good.
Now Johnny now we know what Johnny's viewpoint looks like. Oh.
God, I bet you Grace Randall's fapping off to that bloody part of the trailer as well.
What kind of dumb shit did Grace say this week?
We need a video to that. God damn it.
We're working on it.
All right.
Tom's gonna
I can almost predict what she's going to say about this trailer, but yeah.
It's a Marvel.
Ooh.
You reckon? She's going to love it. I know. We're getting off topic.
Where's the women in this trailer? I can't see any women. This is just a sausage fest. Oh, we get to see my hero for a whole second.
Thanks, Grace, for stopping by.
Yeah.
Oh dear, dear. I didn't think it was very good, was it? Really, it's not good.
It looks expensive.
It does look expensive. It looks expensive but cheap.
Just what I wanted to see was Daddy Momoa.
Yeah, this is clearly not made for me. Like, because I'm looking at it going, this.
I'm like one of the only people who did not like the first film. Like, I walked out of it going, what's the hype? Like, this was basically Black Panther all over again.
Yeah, it's not good. It's not good. I don't know. Do we think that this is going to hype people up? Because the trailer itself, I'm pretty certain it's got a good amount of views now. Let me just refresh it.
Well, did you see?
Yeah, but a good amount of views does not translate to good box office.
It hasn't.
I'd be more worried about the thumbs
I've just refreshed it.
Down.
Oh,
so I've just refreshed it. It's got 970,000 views in 3 hours.
They got 21K views on the main Warner channel.
Well, this is the DC channel.
Yeah, I'm looking at the main Warner channel.
And they got 78,000 likes, 12,000 dislikes.
They only got 1.3 upvotes. I can't see the downvotes. I don't have the app.
Ah, right. Well, it's just not good. Not good.
I think that, I mean, look, I thought that Ezra wasn't going to have all that much effect on the Flash, and I was kind of wrong about that. I never thought the Flash was going to do anything stupendous, but I'll be honest. I actually thought Michael Keaton being in it was going to leg it out to at least a $300-400 million box office.
Yeah.
I think the fact that he was in that movie and people kind of became aware of who he was and what the problems were really kept people away from it beyond just the DC problems.
Yeah,
I think Amber Heard is going to be a worse situation with this.
So many people signed that petition. A lot
of people know who the fuck she is.
But a lot of people signed that petition. It's over 5 million, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the thing is that people know her now for the wrong reason. They know her because of that fucking trial. And I have a feeling this is going to perform worse than The Flash did.
And she's part of the emotional journey of the movie. She's the mother of the child for Daddy Aquadaddy, Daddy Waterbro Aquadaddy, and she's supposedly being hospitalized. So that'll be an emotional weight moment. So people will, nah.
That's the thing. I've heard she's not really in the movie all that much, but I don't think that's going to matter.
Yeah. terrible. Yeah, but that's what I mean. But she's still going to be part of the emotional journey.
Exactly.
Of the film.
She's still
People are
there.
going,
That's all that matters. If they had just recast her, I think it would have helped. Regardless of whether or
massively.
not they're going on beyond this. I don't think I think that was the biggest snafu they made. Of all the reshoots they made James Wan do, I can't believe that wasn't one of them. Hint, hint, segue.
Oh, we need to get Nick's thoughts.
No, I know.
Segue,
Just kidding.
It was a perfect segue.
So I just watched it twice.
You loved it that much?
No, well, I needed to watch it again just a second time just to like kind of confirm my feelings on the first go around.
Let me ask. Let me sort of posit your thoughts and feelings before you even say them. Was it complete apathy?
Yeah.
A lot of nothing, isn't it?
Yeah, like it feels like every other superhero movie these days. A lot of CGI. And the other thing, at first I thought I was watching like a Daddy Daycare, 2 or something.
Like an old
trailer.
Disney movie.
Yeah. And then the icing on the stupid sundae here was the quick shot of Amber Heard punching at the glass. You couldn't even tell it was her unless you pause it, in that moment, which was pretty funny that they had just like a quick shot of her.
I have a theory on that.
What was that, Andre?
I think that there is some kind of contractual thing that says that she has to be in the trailer, but that doesn't say for how long, and that doesn't show which shot, which is why they only showed her for like 1 second.
I don't even think it was a second.
And they chose the shot where she
like
looked
2 seconds.
exactly like people expect her to look. Angry and crazy.
Angry and punching.
You may be onto something, Andre. I don't think it's so much of obligation as you got to remember, a lot of the folks that are involved with this movie still support her and are her friends. So I wonder if they didn't fight to get her in the trailer in the studios.
Why
like,
would they
no,
fight to have this shot?
Because they
shot
just
where she
got,
looks like a
that's all
psycho.
they could get in there because it's one they spent the most money on, probably. That's why.
Did anybody else feel like after watching that trailer that you were watching Jason Momoa pretending to be Aquaman more than you were watching Aquaman?
It's funny you said that, Nicky, that it's more like Daddy Daycare. I was waiting for Eddie Murphy to come in and go like, look at you, like Aquadad, just taking care of babies and shit.
Yeah, it just felt like Jason Momoa pretending to be Aquaman. It didn't feel like. I mean, it's nothing like Aquaman from the comics at all.
Well, we're gonna have to see him go through the same exact arc we've already seen him go through. Remember, that was the arc in the first movies. He had to learn to quit being a dude bro and be a king. Now he's being a king and he's sucking at it because he's still a fucking dude bro. That's really what it is, if you ask me. That's what I see anyway. I could be wrong, but
no, I can totally see that.
I don't see an upside. And right now, Tom, to answer your question on the Warner Brothers side of the argument, or the DC side of the trailer, there's over 12,000 downvotes to 78,000 upvotes.
I'm curious how much of the women out there are going to go out, because the women really went out to support the first one because it was Jason Momoa. I think he has maybe fallen off a little bit. It's sort of like, that was so yesterday,
So we spoke about this on the last podcast, and I said, look, if he's such a draw, why didn't Fast X do gangbusters numbers?
It's a good question.
Yeah.
So I don't think he's the draw though.
I don't think this one will make even half of what the first one did. Not even half.
Oh, like I said, I'll compare it more to Flash. I think it's going to do that kind of. And that's going to justify, at least in some people's eyes, why they're going to reboot this whole thing with him playing a different character, most likely.
And for the DC fans out there, at this point, who cares about this movie? It's all, this universe is done. It's dead.
Yeah.
The general public doesn't necessarily know that, Nick, and that's what I've been arguing with Snyder bots for the last couple of weeks too. You got to remember is that as far as the audience, they don't know who a Zack Snyder is. They don't know who a James Wan is. They don't know who James Gunn is. They don't give a fuck. They just see these movies. They see the same actors. To them, this is Aquaman 2. right? Like that's what they'll see. So it might have a very good opening weekend, except for the fact of I wonder just how much of effect Amber Heard is going to have on this box office. Because like I said, I wasn't sure Ezra had a much, but at the end of the day, you look at that, that's dismal. Like that's even worse. I think it didn't do worse than Shazam.
Yeah, it did. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So
Yeah.
like that to me tells me there's a negative effect.
Yeah, massively.
And you had Michael fucking Keaton in there.
And it didn't.
Yeah.
And I know that it had to be a big deal to some people because that's one of the few times, and I've said this story before, so I'll keep it as quick as possible, where something dropped, and even though we knew about it in the nerd community, where I'll have my friends and family come and tell me stuff, because normally they don't, because they already know I'm on top of this shit. But the day of the Super Bowl, I had numerous messages coming from friends and family go, oh my God, Indiana Jones is back. And the one I got the more of was, holy shit, Michael Keaton's Batman. Like I got at least a dozen messages of that. So people were excited for that.
Yeah, I had a buddy of mine who he's not in YouTube or the know all of movies and entertainment, but he called me like a week ago and was like, "Oh, hey, I saw this Flash movie and this Michael Keaton's back as Batman." I was like, "Yeah, it's gotten kind of mixed reviews out there. You can check it out, see what you think of it. I won't say anything to you about it. I'll just let you watch it." He called me like 15 minutes later and was like, dude, I couldn't even get through the first 15 minutes of this Flash movie. I had to turn it off. I just had no interest. I was like, wow, okay. And he's the epitome of normies.
Oh wow, yeah, full on.
Yeah, remember DC, right? The DC brand right now is coming off of 4 flops in a row. This is going to be the 5th. Of which the first flop in that row was Black Adam. And the funny thing is that now, retroactively, compared to what's happened since with those 3 movies after that, Black Adam is starting to look pretty good.
I blame more of this on Marvel than I do anything else.
Oh yeah, for sure.
The lackluster performance of all the last few years of Marvel films has turned people off of these superhero movies. They don't trust them anymore.
I just think it's too many. There's the market. Like when I watched this movie, all I could think of was just give it a rest. That's all I could think of was just stop. Just give it a rest.
I feel the same way as you do there, Nate, on that. But I think it's because we've gotten so many bad and terrible and just meh superhero movies. If they were all home run knocks out of the park, I think people would definitely be on board for getting more and more.
Yeah.
Because like I remember, watching, the first couple seasons of Game of Thrones, and it's like after that, it's like, I'm going into season 5, and it's like I want to see the next episode already. But now I gotta wait a year. And the same thing with these superhero movies. It's one bad one after another. It just gets more and more stupider, and it's just like, man, now a lot of people are at the spot where you're just saying, just like, give it a rest at this point, guys. Like, you're not doing yourselves any favors.
What Tom was saying, that it's actually Marvel's fault because these movies suck now. Because Marvel, honestly, this is a point that I have made before as well. Marvel were the ones that artificially propped up the DC movies. Because while the DC movies sucked, Marvel movies were still great. And that gave additional hunger for comic book movies because they were all so good. They could all be trusted. That's not true anymore. Now they can't be trusted. And then the audience has just had enough. That's how it is.
Checked out.
Yeah. And there's a good portion of the general audience who doesn't even know the difference between Marvel and DC.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're absolutely right.
Because I've even had people like where I was like, I remember being in the theater for like, can't remember if it was Batman v Superman or one of the Justice League ones. And I swear somebody was going, well, where is Iron Man?
Oh dear. We do forget what sort of space we occupy, but let's shuffle on. Good segue anyway. We're talking about reshoots and stuff. So obviously part of Aquaman and the sort of disgruntlement of James Wan is the potential reshoots. But is he denying them?
He's saying they didn't do any reshoots? What?
Basically, yeah. So he's trying. Yeah, fucking hell. So yes and no. Let me just say what he says because it's just.
Yeah, let me hear this. I got to hear
It's
this.
nonsense. So in a new interview of Entertainment Weekly, director James Wan was an in-demand cast that led to suggested that an in-demand cast was what led to at least 3 rounds of additional photography. So it's not actually additional photography. What they're saying is that it was just scheduling. So it's not actually additional photography. We were just doing the actual shoot. We have big actors in this movie, and everyone's schedule is really hard. So we had to break up our shooting schedule into sections. We'll shoot a bit here now because this actor's available, and then we'll do another shoot now because this guy's available. People are like, oh, they're doing a whole bunch of different shoots. No, if we actually combine them all together, it's actually not that many number of days at all. Additional photography is never a negative thing. I find new ways and I come up with new ideas. The Conjuring 2 is a perfect example of me putting the whole movie together and then bing, a light bulb went off in my head and I go, I know what I need to do. Same here as well. So on one hand, he's suggesting that actually it was scheduling. And so there's no additional photography. It's not that many days at all. It's just scheduling. And on the other, he's like, yeah, we did actual additional photography. What the fuck?
This was confirmed, so that's where I'm not even sure why they're even pretending. They've done at least 3 rounds of reshoots because we know they had a Ben Affleck ending.
Yeah.
They had a Michael Keaton ending. And I just posted this in the back. I'm starting to wonder if they didn't have to they didn't go back and reshoot a bunch of Amber Heard out because I don't have it on this computer. I have it on the old PC. But in the trailer where you see in that there's like a scene where there's like these ruins and it's all viney and stuff. There's like vines all over the place and it's him and Patrick standing there talking. I have a shot with him and Amber talking.
It wouldn't surprise me
from like 2 years ago when they first released some stills from this movie. So I'm wondering if they went and reshot her out of most of the movie.
Yeah. I mean, this thing started production June of 2021.
That's what I mean. It's almost been shooting as long as The Flash. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. There's no way, if everything went smooth and they got all the shots they needed, that the movie wouldn't have already come out by now. So yeah, I definitely think there was extensive reshoots in this. Especially with all the Amber Heard stuff.
Let me see if I can find the image I'm talking about so you guys don't think I'm crazy and you know what I'm talking about.
I mean, this just... Andre, what do you make of this?
Well, it's going to be a joke. Of course it's been reshoots. We know it's been reshoots. We've been covering them. What surprises me is like why do anything more now? Like all you do right now, this is what I've been saying. I think the only thing that they've been doing right now is that they've been snipping things out. They've been snipping out all of the cameos and stuff like that ironically were the result of earlier reshoots. And then suddenly they were like, oh shit, now we're going to need some more additional footage just to make the skeleton of a movie left.
Yeah.
It's like a joke. I was just thinking that this thing right here, like most of the DC movies, just like The Flash, this is a movie they've been making for 3 years in a row now, more or less. It also has almost has echoes of Hellraiser Bloodline, not with the director, but that they made the movie so many times over.
Yeah. No, is that or is that from the first one?
Is it from? If it's from the first one, I could be wrong. I've only watched the first one once.
That looks like it's from the first one. I think that
could be, but it says should. Okay, maybe it is. You're right. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, that's like the scene where they're standing among those pillars and looking for the point of view.
Yeah, I don't know. I watched it once. I don't fucking remember.
Well, they do comment on Amber. So, while chatting to Entertainment Weekly, one addressed some of the rumors relating to the movie that have been doing the rounds, including Batman's involvement and comments made by Mirror actress Amber Heard back when filming was still underway. The trades claimed that at different points, both Ben Affleck and Michael Keaton were set to make appearances in Aquaman 2 before their scenes were cut to make the film more standalone in nature. The tricky thing early on was not knowing whether Aquaman would come out first or not, or after The Flash, so we just had to be prepared. At the end of the day, the best thing I would say about this movie is that it is not connected in any way to any of those films. That's the bottom line.
Which
then
means
they
it all
comment
got
on,
cut. Yeah, sorry.
yeah, basically. And then they comment on fucking Amber Heard as well. One counters by claiming that Mira was never going to be a big part of the story with Aquaman. Yes, she was. With Aquaman's relationship with his estranged half brother Orm being the main focus. I always pitched this to everyone from the get-go. The first Aquaman was Arthur and Mira's story. The second movie was always going to be Arthur and Orm. So the first was a romance action-adventure movie. Was it? The second one is a bromance action-adventure movie. We'll leave it at that.
Okay, that I will. He did. This is something I do know is true. That early on, this movie was going to be a buddy cop movie. That's what James Wan kept saying. And we kind of learned some of this from the trial when Amber said that she was initially supposed to have a hell of a lot more to do in the sequel. And she was saying that she already felt like she was being removed as it was because she had some big action sequence that was removed. And she was now, and she gave out pretty much the whole plot on the trial, that she was now in a hospital bed through most of the movie pregnant.
Yeah. Wow. Well, we see his kid in the trailer, so
yeah, but that must be pregnant with their second child. I'm imagining.
Maybe she dies during pregnancy.
Maybe
that's what I was about to say.
Things look, that's what I mean. Maybe I was wrong about the one picture, but they could have turned around and shot her out of this movie, like you said, moved a lot of the stuff from the end of the movie to the beginning, and like you have her die after birth or something like that. That could very well be. Although I do feel like that last part of that speech, or maybe the whole speech he's given, is to Amber. Because the way he says, I think he says our children or whatever, but I could be wrong. I thought maybe he says my children, but yeah. I only watched it once. I didn't watch it twice like Nick. I'm not a sadomasochist. So.
lads and ladettes in the chat, press X to doubt on these reshoots. I reckon they definitely happened. I think we all know they definitely happened. Fucking ridiculous. And where's the we know that they happened if they don't include that stupid UN scene where they're lecturing them on global warming, for goodness sake. So,
well, we know they just here's the thing.
Gotta get
the
that
timing was like
in there.
We know there was at least 2 rounds of reshoots before James Gunn. We know there was at least 1 round of reshoots after James Gunn, and that round of reshoots actually corresponds with James Wan going in for exhaustion. And the rumor going around was the stress that he was under for constantly having to change this movie, because this would now be the 3rd or 4th cut of this movie now that he's had to change. And all the work he's been doing on this movie has pretty much put him under so much stress and pressure that he went in for exhaustion, I guess was what they were saying.
Yeah, it's just honestly. Well, there you have it, ladies and gents. Water Dude Bro 2 it's probably going to be poo.
And just be clear, he didn't go in for exhaustion. He probably thought he had some other problem. Yeah. And the doctors just told him, you're exhausted, you're stressed. You need to go rest.
Take a load off. Let's get into some more super chats before we move on. So Tom Workin sent in $2, says, when is YouTube not doing weird algorithm stuff? Yeah, but this is... So I don't want to labor the point too much. I was going to do a separate video on the channel about it. Not that anyone will get notified. So impressions are down, and then if your click-through rate is the same, everything's down, basically. So my channel is being exposed to like 7 million people less on average a month, which is a lot, actually. That's a significant amount of reduction, and it's across the board. So a lot of people will go, oh, it's just people in your sphere. It's not. So I reached out to some people that just do, it's a channel very similar to the New Rockstars. I don't want to name drop them. There's no point. A very middling, just middle of the road, just do movie breakdowns, discussions, things you missed, that sort of stuff. They're getting like, I don't know, 3-4 million less views a month now. It's crazy. So they've done something which is very, very bad for channels. I don't want to stress it too much, but I'm sure you guys will concur with how devastating whatever they've done is.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I was looking at some people's Ahsoka reviews, people that with like 400,000 subscribers who are only getting, like a couple thousand views. And it's like,
I don't know what, wow. But also like, you just need to go on your own YouTube and go, why the fuck am I being recommended all this garbage now? Like they're doing something very strange with it all. So anyway, I didn't want to labor it too much, but support your favorite YouTubers, guys, because it's odd what's happening right now.
Yeah, that's one thing
Just-
that I also can say, that impressions are definitely down. It takes everything down, but also just look at the recommendations that you get. I know certainly for my thing, I get recommended a bunch of crap I never asked for, and then I never would click in between the stuff I'm interested in. I mean, sometimes it's scary how accurate they can be. Like, I want to see it. Oh, there it is. But
yeah.
I haven't had that for a month now.
Yeah, it's very frustrating. It's not good, basically. Larry Kwadowitz for $5 says, question for Nick. Would you like to see a droid or non-human protagonist in a Star Wars project one day? Droids are basically immortal. Could be cool.
If it's if it's a cool, well-written droid, I wouldn't be against it. I mean, they're supposed to be doing a droids show that they announced back in 2019 with R2 and C3PO, but we haven't gotten that. So, who knows? But I would definitely be up for seeing it, especially if it was like a IG-88, like bounty hunter, or something where he's going out and doing a lot of cool shit, and like, sort of similar to Mandalorian, but more on, have it be episodic where every single episode is its own story. He's on a new bounty. He's, and then there might be like an overarching storyline that plays out through the whole show, but have each episode be a one and done story, with little clues or little touches here and there, for a lot larger story that you get into towards the end of like the first season or something, or that's resolved at the end of the first season. I don't know. Disney just doesn't know how to make TV,
or movies.
Or movies.
Anything.
Yeah.
D for 20 Australian dollary dues says, did you see that Weta Workshop is going to be making Warhammer 40k collectibles? I think that they will be good. Weta do good work. I have a few of their Dark Crystal collectibles. I love them. I didn't, but their stuff is, you must be rich, mate, because they're well expensive.
Oh, God, man. It's like worse than Hot Toys.
Their stuff is like, holy shit, mate. Like, you got a few of them? Boy, you're a baller.
Yeah.
I would love to own some of that stuff, but it is.
So would I. It's not my price bracket.
Trendy, yeah.
They got some great Lord of the Rings stuff.
They do.
Yeah.
Oh,
like $2,000.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, someday when you meet when you're Dr. H.
Yeah, I'm looking. Well, some of them are still well expensive. Actually, I'm looking on the website now. God damn, their stuff is exceptionally good though. Like, it is great. So, I can't argue that. Get them if you can, mate. Do it. Fergal Kelly for €5 says, do you think that Akira would work better as a live action limited series rather than a movie? No, because then they'll try and because then they'll try and over explain it. It needs to be movie runtime where you don't explain a lot of it. Personally, that's what I think.
No.
Thoughts?
I don't know that I don't really know. I don't know anything about Akira, so I'll just.
You should watch Akira. It's good. Good movie. Yeah, it's a good movie.
I agree with this. I mean, there's so much that you can do with it if you were going to do a live action version of it. I mean, sometimes when they have taken a movie and they've made a TV series out of it, it has worked exceedingly well. Now, Akira is not something that you can draw out across several seasons. I'm not saying that. But if you were to do a live action Western remake, doing it as a 3 to 5 episode, maybe 6 episode miniseries absolutely would be the way to go, because it's a really dense. Oh yeah, it's a dense story as it is right now. You could expand upon it a little bit more, because that way it doesn't have to be a shot-for-shot remake. You can explore some things a little bit more there. I think that would be interesting. I'd actually be more interested in an Akira miniseries than I would an Akira movie. That's me.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, we know Tom doesn't watch anime, so we can't ask him. Culture, you got an opinion on this, mate?
I'd be really excited for Akira. I think it could definitely work. I think it'd be better as a series than a film. I am 100% on
You
board
will.
with that.
Fuck
Wouldn't you love to have a live action anime series like that?
With One Piece. Is
A
that?
good one. No, but you understand my. I mean, well, this is a bit
Yeah, I
different
do.
than One Piece.
I do, but I think part of the so
Yeah.
look, listen, let me explain. I guess the part of the beauty of Akira is it's very Lovecraftian in the fact that it is a lot of unknowns and it is quite vague and things like that. And I think if you have a mini series, I think you run the risk of them trying to over explain it and also padding. Just scenes which don't, you don't need to over explain things. I think a lot of it, the beauty of Akira is in its mystery, and I think a miniseries would potentially get them to try to explain too much. That's what I think.
Okay. I mean, I can get where you're going there, but I think it would be without adding a bunch to it. And again, it's a lot of that's a lot of caveats I'm putting in there. But I think it could work really well as a series. Again, if they didn't add a bunch of fluff and garbage and stuff, I think it would be. Again, it's the same thing. It's the same problem that suffered Cowboy Bebop. Is just they put a bunch of fluffy nonsense in it, and they weren't faithful in their adaptation of the characters. And if any audience is going to need you to be faithful in your pursuit of something, it's going to be an anime audience. They don't.
That, and I'd get the people, or at least some of the people from One Piece, because that's one of the few places where I've seen clearly, and I'm not even familiar with the manga and barely familiar at all with the anime. But what happened was watching that is it doesn't matter, right? They found a way to make it accessible for everyone. And yeah, sure, there are some diehard fans that are not too happy with certain things, but at the end of the day, the debates they're having have nothing to do with a woke factor or this factor or whatever. It's just how the character was used or whatever. Some things were changed from how it was in the story, but to me, that's what you got to do.
Yeah, that's why I wouldn't want them to do a mini series, just a straight up movie, keep it as it is. But anyway, Olaf Vanes for €2 says, Mistake Reviews, Predator Alien Nerd. Yeah, that's what this channel started on. Love it. Tom Working for $2 says, in space, no one can hear you, franchise. High Def for $10 says, what do you think of low budget sci-fi like The Signal and Vivarium? I think there should be more of them. I really like The Signal, directed by a friend of the channel, William Eubank, who also did Underwater. Nice guy. Got a lot of time for Mr. Eubank. He's a good chap. Like him a lot. He's a good dude. So yeah, I really like The Signal, if we're talking about the same Signal anyway, with Lawrence Fishburne and stuff, with William Eubank that directed it. Great film. Yeah, low budget sci-fi. I like a good low budget sci-fi when it's done well. I mean, you wouldn't know The Signal was especially low budget. They did a very good job with it, to be honest. So yeah, give me all the low budget sci-fi, just like all the low budget horror that we're going to be getting now. give it. Yeah, give me all of it. I'm game for it.
The only thing I would say is that it places additional requirements of the writers and the directors and the filmmakers overall, because they need to write it in such a way that the low budget isn't visible. Like, for instance, then you can't write that you have a huge space battle when you can't afford to do a huge space battle other than like do something that looks like a PlayStation 2 cutscene. Then you're better off not doing it. So then you have to be extra clever. And this is this is what's so brilliant about like horror, with like possession movies and stuff like that. You can film them in someone's home, and you're probably better off without using special effects. The point I've made with, for instance, The Pope's Exorcist is that it's a brilliant movie dragged down by it having too big a budget, which allowed them to do a bunch of CGI crap that the movie would have been better off without. So a small budget actually can be a strength. Invest everything in making it look expensive. You need to have proper cinematography. You need to have proper sound. You need to have proper lighting, proper cameras, so it doesn't have that washed out digital look that makes it look like a student film. I mean, that's the moment when I'm out of like a proper movie. As long as it looks like something, like for instance, the Conjuring movies, and like the first one's made for like $5 million and stuff, and you have like movies that are can be made for $1 million, but camera-wise, they can look like they were made for 100 million because there's no difference. I mean, that's what you want to do. Put the money there and then write it so that that's all you have to do. Write it like a bottle episode of Star Trek.
Yeah, I agree.
And those are often the best episodes because that's where they were forced to really add in those character scenes and other stuff because you couldn't rely on anything else.
Well, I mean, Jaws was famously, so many things go wrong, bad budget, etc., and I mean that holds up. A great film. So
yeah, exactly,
it's those things, isn't it? Shuffling on now anyway. So the Big Nose for $2 says it's not PC to fat shame the Predators. Come on, guys.
I mean, they're pretty large.
They are. They're stacked. Warsu 38 for $2 says Ridley ripped off AVP first act in Prometheus.
Let's
He did
not
a little
talk
bit,
about
actually.
Prometheus.
All right.
Well, in a sense, it's in a sense. But here's the thing,
a little bit.
It's not that he ripped off AVP in particular. What he ripped off are like a bunch of stories from like ancient astronaut theory and New Age philosophies, as well as some really ancient Sumerian stuff that predate the Bible and all Abrahamic religion. Those are the things that were put into Prometheus. And those were also the things that inspired the first AVP comic, which the movie is a horrible rip-off of, which also then went into add some additional ancient alien stuff. Like, for instance, this pyramid under the Arctis on Earth. This was never in the AVP comic. This is something that they added from the movie, but or for the movie. But I believe that other than that, it's relatively coincidental, the similarities. I think that Ridley Scott was going to do ancient astronaut movie at some point anyway. It's just unfortunate that he chose to do so with the Alien franchise.
Yeah.
Well, I think the Mexican government really disappointed Alien fans yesterday, didn't they?
What did they do then?
Oh, you haven't seen Andre?
Oh, I haven't.
They revealed aliens are real.
They revealed the aliens.
Well, hasn't the CIA or Defense Department or whatever?
No, but these are real ones.
Okay.
Yeah, they like took them out on display.
What the fuck is this?
This is the aliens that they showed off in Mexico.
Yeah, they said they found these and they're thousands of years old and they're actual aliens from another planet.
You're joking me. They actually
I am not joking.
The Mexican government. And people are actually believing it.
Yes. This shit looks like fucking roadshow type shit, man.
Yeah.
Like, I could make a better alien than this.
People are so stupid. What is wrong with people?
Sorry, I just thought I had to bring
the
this
bigger question: why the hell are they trying to convince us that aliens are real? And you seem like the same thing with like the American authorities, with the Defense Department and all those. They're trying to.
That's what I wonder. What are they hiding, Andre? Like, what news are they hiding right now?
It's a power grab. Come on.
The guy who was doing the reveal in for the U.S. was actually there in Mexico at this event.
I bet he was.
Yeah.
Of course. I mean, he's probably the one guiding the whole freaking thing.
Yeah.
I mean,
the only person that should have been there would have been Geraldo Rivera. That's right up his freaking alley.
Right.
The aliens are real and they're Mexican.
They're like tacos and burritos.
Falling for this.
We'll ask Mikey if he knows them.
Yeah.
On the next, Geraldo.
Right, let's get us some more super chats, guys, real quick. So, Mr. Ali here for $5 says, "Hi Nate, I hope you and Jasper are well. We're very good, actually. Thank you. Jasper is always good. But thank you very much. Would you, although he's not here and he's never in this bloody room, but yeah. Would you like to see a sequel to Luc Besson's Lucy? The special effects looked amazing. All the best, dude. I didn't hate Lucy. I'd like to see what the idea is and where they're going to go with it, but I didn't hate Lucy. You know,
I'd rather see a sequel to The Professional.
Yeah, well,
with Natalie Portman all grown up. That was
I think
too, wasn't it?
Lucy would be an interesting one just to follow up because she turned into a USB at the end.
That's true.
She did. She did.
That's true.
So I'd like to see what they do with it. Like,
What? I never saw Lucy. What?
I neither did I.
mate,
I was so
go
put off
watch
by
it.
the stupid concept.
Luc Besson was the one who made The Professional, though, right?
Yes, that's it.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, because like for years he's had this idea for a follow up, but he's never got it off the ground, from what I heard. But yeah,
So same with Lucy, to be fair. Tom working for $2 as Amber Heard is a millstone, not a draw. Yes. Graph Webb for $2 says, for God's sake, cancel Disney Plus.
Well,
yes.
The most consistent person on the internet, right there.
Well,
Dr. Long Dongler sent in a £1.99 super sticker with a thumbs up. Thank you so much, my dude. John Platt sent in a super sticker for £2. Thank you so much. And Mexican Iron Man, speaking of the alien devil, says Zack Snyder, Mexican ancient aliens. Well, this is the thing. I mean, isn't what they're doing with the I mean,
but are they legal?
Sure, exactly. Are they sure
Yeah.
Mexico? They said aliens, and what they actually meant was illegal aliens. Is this not what? Are they getting confused?
But going back to that last super chat before Mikey and the super sticker, did you guys see this? The latest
cancellation
numbers.
rates?
Yeah, Max is
No,
at the
what is
top of the chart. Let me see if I can make this bigger here.
Yeah, Disney's second.
Max is top of the chart with 26.9% loss. Disney Plus lost 21%. Paramount down 17%. That's bad for Paramount. That's going to hurt them.
Yeah, because they got no one anyway.
Yeah, exactly. It's like their whole audience. They're like, shit.
So what are they doing the cancellation rates based on? So is that 26% of their total subscriber base have unsubscribed?
Well, we got a story right here, actually.
Oh, that takes us nicely off too.
Well, not that.
I know it doesn't, but we'll still talk about it. I'll use that as a segue.
You can bounce off from this. Which streaming service cancels? This is a study that was. Go away, Sean Penn. You look like my grandma.
I fucking hate that guy. Honestly, he looks like a sack of potatoes.
He looks like my grandma on crack. I mean, so yeah, let me see if I can find here where they actually, as far as what they're using for a
yeah, because that matters. The what the percentage, like what is
okay.
20?
Collaborated on data exploration to determine how often the leading U.S. brand-based streaming and linear programs have canceled.
Can you scroll down to what you're reading, Tom?
Okay,
so we can see it as well.
So all right. The data covered all shows scripted and unscripted canceled between 2020. Shows below major streamers: Hulu, Amazon. Overall combined average cancellation rate of 12.2%. Not much higher than. Oh, this is for television shows canceled. This is about canceling shows. So discussing film misreported this story.
Yeah, it wasn't talking about churn rate. It was talking about show cancellations.
Oh, that's dumb. Fuck that. Who cares?
Yeah, who cares about that? Well, our culture, we've still done the segue, so over to you, buddy.
Fair enough. Story's up and shared.
Well, you can add it.
I did. So Disney Entertainment Studios has gone through with the beginning of their force majeure process. And so they're suspending deals with producers, including these people. The only one on there I know is the freak show named Billy Porter.
In the fucking middle.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but basically they're going to pay the assistants amid the strikes. So it's an interesting story because Disney's basically doing what everybody else is doing. Yeah. I mean, but they're stepping up. And think about how many different television operations they have. I mean, it's just massive, and not to mention their streaming services that they own. But they have all of these things. The This Is Us guy, that Justin Hartley dude, Yara Shahidi is the Grownish chick, and the Billy Porter, obviously, which nobody cares about for Pose, right? But all in all, what this is indicating is everything else that's happening right now, because Disney's joining Warner Brothers, NBC, CBS, all of which implemented rounds of deal suspensions over the last week. Everybody is stepping away from these things. So, and they're big people like Greg Berlanti, Bill Lawrence, Mindy Kaling, Lorne Michaels, Dwayne Johnson. I mean, it keeps going deeper. Chuck Lorre was one of the names that was mentioned on this. They're literally getting ready to cut off all these deals.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the first step in force majeure. So it's going to be, I think, kind of a bloodbath in that's going to be clipped too. Bloodbath in television for a while. I think you're gonna literally see a lot of these showrunners and producers start to really push hard to get these strikes ended. And I think you're going to see I think this is just another indication that we're going to see the breaking line. You're gonna see people walking away, just like Bill Maher is getting accused of being a scab and so on and so forth, because you can't have everybody in an industry out of work this long with no, straightforward negotiations in good faith being conducted. And that's, I think, Andre, don't tell me if I'm wrong there. I think I'm not just speaking out of school. I think that everything we're hearing from the people that we've heard from, and Tom, you can speak to this also, nobody's operating in good faith on these negotiations.
No,
yes.
The only one that's been operating in good faith are not the leaders of any guilds, but probably the writers that unfortunately have unscrupulous people doing their negotiating for them. I think that most writers are ready for this to end. I think that all of the collateral damage, those who rely on film productions to actually happen, they're definitely ready for this to end. But I do believe that the studios, they wanted this to happen specifically to do what they're doing right now, to force majeure their way out of deals that may have looked like a good idea at the time, but that was when they had money and before they knew how badly they had fucked up with this whole streaming thing. Now they need to get out of some unprofitable deals, and then this strike is really, really good for that. And then you have the leaders of the WGA, and what the hell they are thinking, I honestly do not know. But everyone who's caught in the middle there, the writers and also obviously everyone else who is needed on a movie set, who has that as their full-time career, like all the people you see in the credits of a movie, none of them are working right now.
Well, I wonder whether, I mean, obviously this is a substantial sort of kickback from the studio anyway in terms of money saving and stuff. But I do wonder whether this is a bargaining tactic, because you start pissing off more and more people in the industry. They start going, fucking sort it out now. They'll go to all of their teams of people and go, right, no, you honestly, do you know what I mean? Like, it starts to send shockwaves through the industry on a bigger level. So they're like, no, you need to start fixing this now. More and more weight. You basically turn everyone against the strikers at that point.
Yeah, and Billy Porter's a whiny bitch anyway. I mean, he's already been whining about this once and got a lot of pub.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Dear, oh dear.
Yeah.
Fun times ahead, ladies and gents. Fun times ahead. But what's also
just not in the theater for a while.
No, this is true. But what's also what is also a fun time is culture. Plug some shit.
Sure thing. Check me out. I'm going to be hanging out over on the Pro Show today on WDW Pro's channel. I'm also doing some video edits and things over there for That Park Place, which is the other channel coming to you from Jonas J. Campbell. And if you want, you can check out at least one video every weekday from my channel for the most part, and all of the lovely live streams that I'm on. So thank you very much.
Regularly here on your favorite podcast is Culture.
Well, yeah, but I'm here.
So you still promote it. Thank you.
I promote you all the time.
I'm kidding around. Nick, plug some stuff, buddy.
Sub and subscribe to the greatest podcast of all time right here.
Oh, there you go.
The HCast with all these lovely people here. Don't worry about anybody else here on the panel. Just sub here. We're here anyways, so just sub to this.
You need to sub to, you need to get everyone to sub to Nick Talks Entertainment. That's what.
Yeah. So, guys, I got a personal channel, Nick Talks Entertainment, which at some point in time I'll start putting content whenever I get a computer replacement. I am going to be doing a chill stream on the main Echo Base channel, and I'm actually probably I'm debating on covering the Sony PlayStation event, which starts in like a little over 30 minutes. So I might go live here shortly. and just do this chill stream early.
What event would that be? Out of curiosity.
They just announced a PlayStation Live event where they'll be showcasing new trailers of games. There's a rumor
like
that the
next
Gamescom
for Sony, basically, isn't it?
Yeah. So there's a rumor has it that the next Final Fantasy VII Rebirth trailer might drop, or the Metal Gear Solid remake trailer might get announced or dropped today. Also, so we might get some big gaming news out of that, which starts here in like 30 minutes. So I might go live and cover it, and then just let that be my chill stream. Maybe bitch and talk about Ahsoka a little bit.
I don't want to break your heart, Andre, but it's not on the Sega Mega Drive.
I figured.
Tom, what plug some stuff, buddy?
Yeah, I know for sure I'll at least have Midnight's Edge After Dark most likely later. And morning show tomorrow. Might show up on the Thursday night throwdown or wherever else I'm asked to be. So
excellent.
Yeah.
Very nice, very nice. And Andre, last but definitely not least.
Just head on over to Midnight's Edge. We have been covering some Disney revelations lately. Those are our last two videos, are covering the expose about Disney and Bob Iger and all the shenanigans that went on with Bob Chapek. Much of that we covered at the time, but then it was reading tea leaves, speculation, based on an incomplete picture, an official announcement, and some leaks. Now we have a proper expose. So now we go through it all in order. 2 videos are out in that series so far. More will come, probably not tomorrow, but definitely on Saturday. So go and check that out. And also check out our interview with the one and only Graham Hancock, which is criminally underviewed so far. The algorithm for
that. So please do all of that, guys. And quickly, Tom Working sent in $2. Says studios wanted this, not against it, but how so? Well, as in well, they wanted to sort of trim the fat, basically. Use these products, trim people down, that sort of thing. Real quick, guys. Again, I've been bringing back lore videos. Please do check them out. As Andre said, his video is criminally underviewed. My lore videos are now criminally underviewed. No one's getting notified of them. They're being buried. They take a really long time. Like a really bloody long time. And they're really good. I don't want to toot my own horn, but yeah, when the lore voice comes on, you'll know it. It's very good. You will enjoy it. What's that look for, Culture? What's that look for? It is the lore voice.
The lore voice.
It is the lore voice. You check it out, mate. You tell me it's not the lore voice. People love that voice.
I'm sure.
You check it out.
Okay.
You report back. But no, honestly, in all seriousness, guys, please do check those videos out. They took a really long time to make, and I've been making them now for a couple of weeks. This is what I mean. I know no one's seen them because I did the videos today, and people are like, "Oh my god, you're back to lore." Yeah, I was a couple of weeks back. So this is why it's annoying. But hey, that is what it is. I know you guys will like them. But for me and everyone else, we'll catch you again on Tuesday. I'll be doing chill stream on Sunday night. And then, we'll be back on Tuesday with the main podcast. Hit subscribe on everyone's channels. Please do. And hit subscribe on the second channel. So thank you all. Take care. Bye-bye now.
Bye, guys.
Take care.